And we're live. This is Julien Jean-Pierre from the Royal St.Lucian Seamoss Company, and you're watching Let's Talk about Seamoss with Julien and friends. And sorry I'm a little late tonight to start the show. I had work and other stuff that just kept me busy. So let's get some people started in the room. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Hey, Alicia, good to see you. I'm going to open up the Clubhouse because I know there's been quite a bit of people coming up on Clubhouse, which is really cool. So I got to make sure. And I always got to schedule time to set this up early and not do this always last minute. Okay. About Seamoss. Friends. Is it today? Yesterday. Replay on. There we go. Start the room. There. So if any of you guys want to join in on the Clubhouse, let me know and I'll share the link there. But even if you just go to Clubhouse and search Seamoss, we should come up on a topic. And well, thank you so much. I hope that you order Seamoss from us. Don't forget to use the coupon that's on there for first-time users. You get 25% off. Hey, what's up, Yusuf? Hey, thought I invited you to speak. Hey, what's up, man?
Chilling.
Cool. Me too. I'm just there. Been. Yo, yeah. I was gonna say I've been shipping a lot of Seamoss. Last night I was there till like almost 12 o'clock. Yeah. How do you like the Seamoss?
My wife got it. I wasn't even home. I just left back out. He came not too long ago.
Oh.
It probably came like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yeah. I got a little bit backlogged over the holidays because there's just so much going on, and then the orders just came in much more than expected. It was like, woo! But I'm glad that I got most of them done. I think by tomorrow I'll have all the orders out. But I'm glad you got yours and that you're happy with your Seamoss. If there's any problems, let me know for sure. Hold on my second, my dog.
I just, which I still had some more of the first one you sent me. It's like I use Seamoss, but you can make so much jam from a pound of Seamoss, like a lot. So I still have some.
Yeah, because most of the stuff you use for personal use, right? Do you sell any of it, or no? Not really.
No. I'm stingy with my Seamoss.
Yeah. So you keep that all for yourself.
Yeah, but I was just talking to one of my friends. I was telling him we might go in together and buy some Seamoss, because I tell him if he save up 2,000, I save up 2,000. I said we can just buy Seamoss. Seamoss in New Orleans, man, they trying to sell it for too high, you know. And it's like, come on, man, like y'all jipping people. It's like it's too much. Like it's extremely too much to the point where I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit how you blend it up. I don't give a shit if it's in a smooth. I'm not paying no $20 for no damn cup of smooth. I'm about to do that shit.
Yeah, it's hard because I mean, at the same time, it's like, what if that person's buying 1 pound or 2 pounds and they're paying full price? Like, I get it if they're paying like the rock bottom cheap price, But either way, at the end of the day, a successful business works on the main fact that you're solving a problem. And if the problem is there's not enough access to the product, then by all means, put your money together and solve that problem. You can't go wrong.
Because a lot of people, like, they know I have Seamoss and stuff like that, and they're acting for. Now, I'll give people Seamoss, but I don't sell it. But I also tell people exactly where to get it from, because I'm like, you get it from here, or here. And I was like, these are the people that I trust, and these are the people that I deal with because I had the product before. So like, that's what I do for people. And most people, when I tell them, like, nah, bro, you can go buy from this person and you can talk to him on Clubhouse or on Instagram, and they still be like, oh, you can give me something. I'm like, I'm telling you, I just sent the video of the dude who sells it.
No.
I'm like, you don't have to come to me, but most people they don't want to put that like go the extra step to just buy it. I'm like, it's not that hard, man. Just buy it.
I always find there's a certain demographic of clientele that just wants to be serviced. Like they just want you to make the calls. They want you to do it. Just put it in my hand. I don't care how much it is. Just give it to me.
That's exactly how it is.
Tell me how to use it and give it to me. And I think there's not enough people out there that are really sort of capitalizing on that kind of level of service. Like I think they're like Ricky Ray said it one time where like we're not really selling this CMOS for as much value as it is. Like even with you, like I get it, like they're selling it for cheap, but I would be careful about how cheap you sell it because you don't want to like kill the market. You know what I mean? Like if other people are making good money off it, that's fine. Just maybe sell more of it for a better price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think that's the problem I see too much is like guys are buying like a small little bit and they're paying like the same price that someone that is buying like 100 pounds. Like the guy that's buying 20 pounds shouldn't be paying the same price as 100 pounds.
What is she doing in the room? Is she in the room or is just
I don't know. I invited her to speak, but I guess she's maybe playing shy.
Yeah, like it's I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a CMOS. I might do it just because I'm a type of person like I get high on my own product talking about the CMOS, so how I sell it and use it at the same thing. Like if I get a commercial, like if I get a commercial juicer for me for my house, I'm gonna use that for me and to sell. So if I get something, it's always originally for me, but I use it for other people.
Someone's letting off fireworks.
Said somebody letting off fireworks?
Yeah, because I just heard a bunch of fireworks let off, and I was like, "What the hell is that noise?" But it's fireworks. But yeah, you should do it. It definitely, if you know what I mean, you see that there's a market need, I would even maybe test it out first, make sure that there are people there that are going to be receptive to the product at the price point that you want, that you're planning to sell it for, you know. You should go for it.
I should do that.
No, I know there definitely, I think it's Louisiana you talk about. It is there's a lot of these states where there's not a lot of people, like the market is very open, you know. And so like Louisiana is one of them. Um Another state probably is like I don't get a lot of orders for like Ohio or I don't know. I'd have to look up all the states to see. But you know, there's certain ones that I get a lot from: California, um, Las Vegas, so Nevada, um, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, like Illinois. Those areas I get a lot of orders from, but other areas, it's like it's dead. So it just shows that it's like those areas need people that are local to like market and promote the product so that people are able to try it and are interested in it. You know what I mean? Because it's all about building your own market. Like right now, that's the way it is. It's not like you have to compete within a market that's already established. Most of the people that you'll get involved are really new to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
A lot of people are really new to it, and a lot of people that's selling it, a lot of them won't last because it's like they're not like consistent. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if I go to a place and I buy something, the next time I come back, I'm like, man, it's not the same product I bought last time. You know, and that's the problem I find with people that selling Seamoss in New Orleans. It's like, nah, bro, y'all never get the same stuff. It's always different.
Mm-hmm. There's no consistency.
Yeah, and like one of my friends, which he was a friend until he tried to jip me.
Mm-hmm.
He selling Seamoss, and it's the kind of stresses, but it's so damn filthy, man. I'm like, bro, you can't bag that stuff up and sell it to people. Not people that don't know about it. They're not going to want to buy it. People that's just trying it out for the first time, they're not going to want to buy it. I'm like, it's okay to buy it because you know that it's like, you can clean, like nothing's wrong with it, because it's just salt and just other, I guess, seaweed that's tangled up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is wrong with that because I actually, got Seamoss like that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But like, man, this guy Seamoss is some of the funkiest Seamoss I ever smelled. And it's just like, bro, it's not good to sell to people like that because it's gonna take hours to clean. And it's like, bro, like you gotta make it look pretty. Like, I don't give a shit. This not Jamaica. This the United States. They want pretty bananas.
Yeah.
They don't want brown spots in their damn bananas.
No. And that's what they don't get. Like for yourself, it's one thing, but when it's selling on the market, it's different. You know what I mean? Certain people want certain types of look. You know, even if it isn't like the best quality. You know what I mean? It's what the market's sort of dictating.
Yeah, I tried to go half with him to buy Seamoss. I let me how much it is per pound of the Seamoss. I was like, I think I said like pounds. And this dude trying to charge me $5,000. I was like, nah, bro.
5,000? What?
I never went back by this guy again. Like, I was like, I'm not dealing with this dude.
Yeah. He probably charged you by the ounce or something like that, all the way up.
No. He must have had dope in there, so he must have been selling that on a slick. I don't know. I'm like, he tripping. I'm like, I asked this dude to go half in on stuff. He's about 5,000, 3,000 and shit.
But you know, yeah. I was gonna say if he only had say 5 pounds and he had to pay so much to get that 5 pounds because of the way he bought it, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people see these prices like $3, like $8, $10, but when they add in the fact that they're only buying a small amount and then all the shipping costs and transportation and that kind of stuff, it's like you might as well. I know one time there was a client of mine or a friend of mine that won CMOS, and by the time they paid for like all the fees to get the CMOS, they were like, we could have just bought it from you for what you charged me. Yeah, so it wasn't like they got it wasn't like they got free CMOS, you know. Hey, bro, welcome to the talk conversation. Let's talk about CMOS. I'm getting the dry throat. Sometimes you talk too much, you start getting you know what I mean? The air out here is really dry because it's so cold. How you dealing with the cold? Oh yeah, it's freezing. How you dealing with the cold, Maria? I think it's like we're like at a frost warning.
It ain't up but 39 degrees by me.
No, it's like minus. Well, let's see what it is in your Fahrenheit. Toronto temperature. It's 39 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow, are you kidding me? Oh, in Fahrenheit.
Yeah. And then
I was outside for like 5 minutes just to walk to Shoppers.
Yeah.
And like it was so dry, my throat was just like, it's like I was already sick.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like -2. But then I think it's more with the wind chill. But it's cold. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't. Fuck. I was looking at some videos today of the CMOS, and because we're getting another shipment soon, and the weather there, I was so jealous and everything. Did you want to ask me something? Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah.
Where was the Conscious Crispus from? The one that your buddy gave you?
Who, me or Yusuf?
Oh, you talking to me? I don't know, but I know the first Conscious Crispus he was getting from it was from Dr. Sevy's daughter, who she gets it from. And that was like, that stuff was really nice, like clean and everything. You probably find a little small shrimp in it here and there. Yeah. But the other person he was getting it from, which it probably was the same person, but the person sends clean CMOS, which is going to be more, and a person just send like some shit that they didn't just grab out the water, dry it out. Here, y'all take this shit, clean it yourself. Yeah. So he was getting the stuff for like dirt cheap. I know he was getting it for dirt cheap, you know. But I'm like, he gotta be a New Orleans thing, you know.
It's hard over there.
No, it's not that. Like, you have to be down here to know what I'm talking about. It's like a lot of people that's like, okay, he trying to scam, he trying to get over. I'm like, I'm like, I see it in your eyes. I'm like, you saw it in my eyes when I said fuck you, but you know, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna mess with him no more. I'm like, I ain't got time for that shit. You know?
Oh, that's funny.
You know, because I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to sell this shit. I'm trying to use it for myself. He trying to give me prices like I'm trying to buy like 300 pounds and shit.
Okay.
And I'm like, bro, you know I'm not trying to sell this shit. I'm like, you sitting there, man.
I know.
Sorry, I cussed a little, but I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, man, why these people are trying to get over on me? I must look soft or something. Or is my voice, which I don't like my voice. I hate my voice. I really do hate my voice. So I think it's my voice. People think I'm like soft. But they don't know. They don't know I use the box until I start fighting.
Yeah. No, people will be people.
Yeah, I mean, my older brother used to try to get over on me. You know, I'm the younger brother, so I'm like, bro, like, you ain't gotta try to get over on me all the time. But like, I'm gonna let you slide sometime because you're my brother. But like, this shit getting old. I'm not little anymore.
Sometimes people are that's just how you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta either accept them or you don't. I have an uncle, my dad's brother, and it's so funny. Like when I first got there, it was like this guy was on me, like always trying to like get me to, but like trying to sell me this, that, like everything. Do you know what I mean? And every time it was this big story, or like I would accept the offer, but the offer would always change in the end. Once he had the money, the offer changed. Do you know what I mean? So a couple times I got really upset at him, and I'm like, bro, like you're my uncle. Like, why are you doing this? And one time he says to me, he says, "Listen, just let me be the way I be. You know how I am. Just let me be the way I." So I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Is this guy really telling me to just let me, like let him just rip me off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Oh,
basically what he was saying.
yeah.
Man, look, just let me, man, you know me, there's no harm
Yeah.
intended.
Oh my
You
god.
know?
The last straw was when he bugged me because he found I was buying Seamoss. So he's like, "Let me get you some Seamoss," and I was just like, "No, I'm okay. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "No, no." And bro, if you seen this Seamoss, he was like, "I can get you wild crafted. This will be from the, you know what I mean, bro? This was wild crafted. The fucking shit was wild. Like it was like." I was like, where did you get this? Like, this is like just how you were talking about how dirty it was. Like, this thing was so dirty. It had like twine and like sea debris and all this like looked like shit all over it. Like, oh my gosh, it was. And I tried to clean it and then dry it, and it was just like you literally had to take like steel wool and just scrub this stuff clean. Like it was, oh, it was so horrible.
If you take that sea moss straight out the water and dry it out without cleaning it,
Yeah,
like
That's terrible.
when it dry out and when you try to rehydrate it, that stuff's so hard to get off. All the little bitty
yep,
different pieces of seaweed, all of the little crustaceans. I'm
Mhm.
like, nah, man, you gotta clean this shit as soon as you get it out the water. Like you can't let it dry and then try to clean it afterwards. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, but it's still hard to clean it that way, you know.
Yeah, as well. I could imagine.
Oh,
Julien, do you guys shake off the salt?
who?
Or
Me?
is that like exactly how it is? You guys shake it, right? Like you guys clean it.
So most farmers, depending, most farmers for the most part, they'll shake off the salt, especially with the colored and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that we shake off the salt, but the way we package it and thing, we break the CMOS up first and get it loose so that we can fit every corner in the box before we compress it. And so a lot of the salt gets shaken off on it naturally. But then there's times where there is salt. But really
Yeah.
we try to like not put a lot of salt in because everybody, has this issue with,
Out about the false information.
yeah, the minerals are all in the salt.
That
Yeah,
was
you can do like what it is, Angel Brand, and sell people 10 pounds of sea moss when they got water in it, and then they put
Yeah,
everything in a bag and talk about 10 pounds.
yeah,
It's really cleaning it all. You can 4 pounds.
and it's so moist, but like,
Yeah,
yeah, and even in the salt in there, I think that salt's natural. I think it's just the way the machine uses it to dry those salt crystals form because, like, as the sea moss dries, right, in certain areas, it will sometimes, like, just like, especially if that's an area that's like more moist than the other areas, there'll be a
yeah,
huge, like, shitload of salt just forming in that area. You know what I mean? As the sea moss dries, it just naturally gets more salt on it, especially the colored sea moss, because it's coming to the surface and it's just, you know
yeah.
yeah, it makes sense.
it's
Yeah,
forming
I
these.
saw how they was doing at St. Lucian, like getting a whole bunch of salt come off it once it's dry.
Yeah, I'll try and get it in the. I think I have some videos on my Instagram where, like, it shows it hanging and it's like it's just naturally occurring as it dries in the air. You know what I mean? As the stuff kind of like the moisture releases from the sea moss, that turns into salt. That's where most of the salt's from.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people never really like. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people didn't do certain stuff in school, but they used to like if you get seawater and just let it dry out in a bottle or whatever, glass bottle, you're gonna see the salt
Yeah,
inside of the bottle once it dry out. The
yeah,
same thing if you heating something up. Whatever in that water most likely is going to be on the side of the container that you're heating up
yeah,
once
and
it evaporates.
yeah, and that's where the minerals, you know what I mean, the nutrients are coming from. It's from the ocean water. You
Well,
know.
when it don't come from the rock, now it's just playing.
You like that like, what's so funny? Like, I gotta go
I saw
back.
that post.
I gotta go back, but I think I made that meme. But I found that when I googled it, and I thought it was funny. I knew it was something I would have done too. You know?
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. I was like, man, I got to screenshot this.
I know, right? I really wanted to put it on my IG. I really wanted to, but people still get too much into their feelings.
Yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
To do that too, but I was like, nah, I ain't gonna
It'll be okay for you, Yusuf.
Nah, everybody people gonna be bad at it. Yeah, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, that's why I did it. I want to provoke conversation. And honestly, the type of customers I want to buy from, I want them to be. I'm not saying there's anything more Dr. Savvy, but like, do some research. You know what I mean? That's like fuck CMOS 101. I hate to like sort of say that, but like, yeah, it's CMOS 101.
It's not like they don't have books about this stuff. Like, they
Yeah.
have research places in Florida that do all of that type of stuff. So it's just something they do. They have books. Like you can find the books anywhere. You can find them free too. And free books.
And maybe in these future live streams, I should start like spending more time, or at least 10 minutes, devoted to a little bit of like some of the websites, of showing the sites of the links that I have, because I have a lot of links of like where you can get. I think I sent you copies, right?
Yeah. You like me. You save all the links and information. Yeah, I do the same. Oh, yeah, I got so much information on the stuff. It's a shame.
Back to back.
Yeah, I have something like at least 30 or 40 different links. There's all these like websites like algae.org, and you know what I mean, different marine university websites and stuff like that. And I think I need to put, because that was the one thing that some of the people were saying was that there needs to be a little bit more sort of structure in the group that I have, and just like more I guess distribution of information so that people can sort of be willing to learn more about CMOS or understand better what they're selling, because many of the people, their extent of knowledge, and I'm not trying to like belittle them, but I'm just kind of pointing it out. It really comes down to what they've read on YouTube and a few sites, but they've never really spent like 2 hours or 3 hours reading an article about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like people over here, like they hear one thing on the University of YouTube, and they just run with it, But me, I feel like CMOS have to come with a pamphlet, like, okay, this is what it is. Like, read this, because it's like nobody likes to talk about it, or I guess, the information is out there, but it's just, when you talk to somebody about CMOS, everybody they go back to Dr. Sebi, and it's like, that's it. That's as far as they can go with it. It's nothing else. It's like you said, CMOS isn't a plant. It doesn't get any minerals from the rock. And I know that CMOS don't get minerals from the rock. That shit's impossible. But a lot of people is like, nah, bro, just read about it. Like, you have books, read about it. I was like, once.
No, I just laugh because I can just see them saying that. Nah, bro, come on.
Yeah, like once, like when I try to explain CMOS to people, I always try to explain it to them like I'm talking about mushrooms, because you have to treat both of those things damn near the same. Now, a lot of people don't really know about, if you can farm CMOS, then you can farm mushrooms. You're just doing one in water, but it's basically the same. It's not basically the same thing, but they give all spores. Both of them have spores.
Yeah.
Basically, that's how they grow. And like how they grow it in labs, they do it the same way, basically, like mushrooms. Like, they have to sterilize everything. Like, the shit is they make it so damn complex you wouldn't want to do it. But you can just basically grow mushrooms or anything outside. They talking about you have to sterilize this. You don't have to sterilize shit when you grow mushrooms, because mushrooms that grow in the dirt isn't sterilized,
That's true.
It's like the CMOS. I don't have to sterilize CMOS. You can just put it in a ocean and grow the shit. It isn't sterilized,
Sorry,
Yeah,
I got
that's
it.
kind of how they do like the DIY kits, no? The mushroom kits, where like they have it in the bag, and then like they would like sell it, and then you just have to like spray it and maybe like cover it with a bag, a moist bag.
That's good. Y'all ought to try some of those. Sometimes you get some huge ass mushrooms.
Yeah, I tried one. It was lion's mane. Pretty good.
It's pretty easy to get the spores and kind of like duplicate them or double or shit. I don't know how to explain it, but basically corn syrup. If you have corn syrup and you can get the spores from the mushroom, you can always keep those spores in a refrigerator with like a syringe or something, but you put it inside of the corn syrup and it'll like duplicate from there. But I want to do that. Like, I really want to deal with mushrooms. I love to cook them. I just love, like, mushrooms. Yeah. I want to sell like these expensive mushrooms, but I want to sell them for a good price, not for like super high. I don't want to buy oyster mushrooms a pound for $100. I'm not trying to do that.
Mushroom, mushrooms is a sick business to get into.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I actually had a buddy of mine. I remember growing up. I'll never forget it. We were in like grade 7 and 8, so I was, or actually, it was probably maybe grade 9, but like it was maybe somewhere between 13 and say 15. And he used to have this place. His dad had a place about 45 minutes north of Toronto in this area called Stouffville, and
Okay.
the whole area was a giant mushroom farm. He grew shiitake mushrooms, so he had acres and acres of these logs just stretched out all across like the whole property. And then they had this big giant house, and so like the house was like had like three houses on it or something like that. And it was all like with a pool and tennis courts, because basically the mushroom farm fueled this sort of like party place. So it was like when his dad was on like trips selling mushrooms around the world, because he was selling it to like China and Japan, like they were selling so much mushrooms there. We would go up there and like party at his house for like
Nice.
weekend and stuff. Yeah, I'll never
Oh,
forget.
those type of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that too.
No. It wasn't like psilocybin mushrooms. The it,
Oh,
like Japanese or like the mushrooms they use in like sushi and shit. Shiitake mushrooms.
oh yeah, shiitake mushrooms. Yeah, those things be like rubber when you put it in your mouth. Be chewing all over about an hour.
Right? It has a
Shiitake
lot
is
of
good.
Yeah, it has a lot of B12. I think that's like one of the highest mushrooms that has.
Yeah, you have to boil them. Like you have to boil them in water to make them like real soft and tender.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know I
Yes.
definitely want to try what is it? Lion's mane. I want to try that as a mushroom and a few other ones. But I think that there needs to be more like businesses where they're developing like these sort of like mushroom species and stuff like that. Like isn't there one like that's like chicken of the woods and stuff like that? There's a lot of
Yeah.
like alternatives that people need for like having more vegan lifestyle and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, they have a lot of companies in the U.S. like small companies, that's starting to grow all the different type of mushrooms. Some of them they can't grow because like it's different strands. Some of them they can't really grow in the lab, like the cordyceps. They
Mhm.
grow the cordyceps in the lab, but it's a certain strand that they can't grow in the lab, so you can't really find them.
Mhm.
And most of the time, when they sell a strand of the cordyceps, it's always connected to a caterpillar or a worm or something like that, to show you that's exactly what it is, because you can only get that particular mushroom like that. And most of the things that say cordyceps is a certain strand that can grow good indoors. The cordyceps that a lot of people want, the kind that make your manhood rise. That one is like super high because it's hard to find. You can't really grow them.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's so many different strands of mushrooms. Like every mushroom, like it's different strands of oyster mushroom, different strands of portobello mushrooms, all different type of strands. The same mushroom, just like different strands and stuff. So sometimes it is hard to get certain mushrooms, but I mean, a lot of companies is starting up over here, which I think that thing.
A lot of what? Sorry.
A lot of mushrooms is starting up. I mean, a lot of growers in the U.S. Like a lot of people starting to grow mushrooms in the U.S.
Yeah.
Like that's like a big startup thing right now is going on, like something real big.
Yeah, the whatchamacallit, Ricky's just saying Drew Health Shop on Instagram sells mushrooms. He's saying to check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so there's actually, like, I don't know if you've seen on like, since you run the group, under files, you can add as much documents as you want, actually. I don't know if that would help.
I'll do that. I'll have to check and see. Yeah. I'll have to check and see how to add the files to the list. I actually just checked there in the membership. It's 7,300. Wow.
Oh, people there.
Yeah. But isn't that crazy to see like only 5 people watching the live stream out of 7,000 people that are like activated, you know what I mean? And it's not like I'm just randomly doing that. Unless like I think Facebook really kind of controls what you're sort of seeing and feed. Because there's times where I see posts and stuff where it just showed up and you could tell the thing had been up for days and I just seen it. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, you like I would have changed this if I had seen this or like cleaned up the comments. Like there's a lot of these fucking bots, on there,
It's a lot of bots talking about they didn't cured herpes and stuff like that. Like I see those all the time.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. Hey, what's up, Ricky?
What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm there. We're just chilling, and we got a few guys in the clubhouse. Todd, Yusuf, and Maria. And
what's going on, everybody?
Good. So you heard us talking about the mushrooms, eh?
Yeah. I actually just got into lion's mane to start off.
Yeah, I want to try.
I actually like it. Drew's Health Shop, they actually sell a lot of tinctures, so I like it because it's easy. I can drop it in some tea or anything of that nature and drink it that way.
Really? I never knew you could take it as a tincture. I thought you had to eat the whole like fiber, lion's mane, everything.
No, he's actually making tinctures out of it. He was actually big into sea moss as well, and then he kind of got into the mushrooms. Kind of spread out into the mushrooms too. So yeah, I love the mushrooms. I'm actually just now really starting to learn about them a lot more. So always good to add to your diet.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been thinking about trying to do something like that in St. Lucia. They actually have a company that's doing it though. When I did the research, but they're just making regular mushrooms. I wanted to make more exotic stuff. Yeah, and more cater to the hotels and the chefs at the hotels.
Okay.
Yeah. Like my whole business model down there I want to do is basically go to them and say, okay, what do you want? And I'll grow what you want. Okay, you want this particular variety of strawberries? I'll make sure I grow. Because what's happening, I think, is that the farmers are just growing what they think that the thing the guy wants, and he doesn't. You're not growing the right stuff or growing it the right way, and then he goes in and imports it from Miami because he can get it like on a sheet exactly what he wants. You know what I mean? And so it's like we need to have more communication with these guys and be more sort of like farm like almost cater to that person, So, and I think like one farmer can supply a whole hotel. Like these guys run through a lot of food, especially when COVID's up and going. So I don't know. Yeah. So that's why I was thinking about doing the mushrooms and supplying the mushrooms to hotels and stuff. But we'll see when, still busy tied up with the Seamoss. Yeah. That's keeping me busy. So,
it's very popular.
What?
It's very popular.
What is?
The mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. No, I like shiitake mushrooms and like other mushrooms. I haven't tried any of the exotic ones like lion's manes or chicken of the woods I've seen. That one looks cool. It's supposed to taste like chicken.
Oh yeah.
Have you tried that one,
Everybody
Ricky?
say
No.
everything tastes like chicken.
But I,
It tastes like chicken.
Even horse.
Yeah. Chicken, it tastes like everything, doesn't it?
Hold on, what were you?
Yeah, I never tried that one though. The one they call chicken of the I never tried that.
No.
I don't even think they even sell it anywhere close to where I stay.
What were you saying though, Ricky? You were kind of breaking up.
Oh yeah, I seen actually the same guy Drew. I seen him making mushroom burgers. I have to look back at his page to see exactly what he was making. But man, like yeah, he's taking full mushrooms and making burgers out of them.
There was actually a guy the other night. I think if it wasn't the last Clubhouse or last talk we did, or the one before, he was in Clubhouse, and he is coming out with a product. Either him or someone that he's working with, they're coming out with a Seamoss burger. Yeah,
That's
and all vegan Seamoss based burger.
wow.
And then also a Seamoss based ice cream.
Now the ice cream, we kind of do that here.
Yeah.
But burger, I've never even imagined.
Yeah.
And I want to see that. I need to see that. I need to see what it looks like. I need to.
Gonna be a clip burger on your butt.
Hey, if it's possible.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the texture is like when it is actually cooked. You know what I mean? And like how much sea moss is in there.
Exactly, like sea
Stuff.
moss burger, or is it just a burger that has sea moss in it?
I think it's a burger that has sea moss in it. So it's a plant-based burger where the main component is sea moss.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my understanding. I didn't exactly ask a lot of questions. I was just like, wow, more. He was kind of like hushed about it because they were going to release it sooner. They haven't brought it to market yet. So it's like, you know, you'll see it when I get it kind of thing. But, you know, I have to reach out to him and talk to him about it. We'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah, it does seem interesting.
Even imagine. But people have sea moss every day. That's another route to go.
Well, I know these guys in the Philippines. They're coming out with a sea moss based coffee that is like for like basically like an alternative to coffee, and it's sea moss based, and it's supposed to be like really like energy for you and all this kind of stuff, you know.
I can kind of add a little bit more than the burger. The burger, that's like when somebody said they're making a burger. That's a whole nother different ball game. Coffee, I can kind of burger. This, oof.
I don't know. Would you?
Yeah, it has to be good because you mess up a burger, it's like nah, bro. Like, nah, you got to scratch.
That's true. I was gonna say that. Like, would you guys try a burger? But it's got to have more stuff to it than sea moss because sea moss is more of like a binder. But you got to have other like, you know, maybe like chickpeas or something like that. Like something like a falafel base.
So my question is that once you fry it, once you put steam to it and put it on the grill, does that just take all the
the nutrients out of it? Yeah.
like that's the biggest thing. Like if you're putting it in there, how does it keep its nutrients?
Yeah, like is it gonna have any sort of nutrition value to it?
Or you just
probably. I mean,
the vegan alternative, and I can understand that using it as a buy for vegan alternative, and which is highly understandable. However, it's highly expensive for a
for it to be all seamless. Yeah, that's true. Depending on how they made it, whether they blend it up into some it's like I said, it's got to be something where it's like CMOS based, and like there's other stuff, and the CMOS is like a binder. You know what I mean? And it's got like chickpeas or something like that in it.
Yeah, and
Similar
hopefully
to the
also
protein. Vegan says, I often see posts on vegan pages of fried oyster mushrooms in place of chicken wings and things. Yeah,
yeah,
I've seen that.
like fried oyster mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they've seen cauliflower as like chicken wings.
They call it collie wings.
Collie wings.
I still don't understand like I mean, I like fried mushrooms, but I still don't understand why people call fried mushrooms fried chicken. It's like, come on, man.
It is what it is. Like, just like, it doesn't make it any better just because you call it a chicken alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's a mushroom. It's a fried mushroom. You're eating mushroom. You're eating cauliflower.
Fried mushroom sandwich.
Like, let that sink in.
But I actually like the breaded cauliflower. It's pretty good.
I do too. That's why I don't understand why people don't want to say it's breaded cauliflower. They want to call it everything else but what it is.
You guys do cauliflower wings.
Yeah.
Mushroom wings.
I think I'd be more upset if I thought it was like one thing and it turned out to be the other. That's my always fear when I order at restaurants. I always like think I'm gonna get one thing, and I hate it when I get something I didn't expect. And it's just like, you know.
Yeah, it I don't know. I like cauliflower. I don't know why you want to call it wing, but you know what I think it is? I think because what they end up doing is that they end up seasoning them to like how you would season wings.
Mm-hmm.
And so that like, oh, and let's just be honest, most food is based on seasoning. It's not even based on the food itself. It's based on the seasoning that you put on the food. Let's just be like we don't eat the food. Like the food makes the seasoning taste better. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
good point. Yeah.
So just eat some food with no seasoning and see how you like it.
Yeah, how plain the food is.
Yeah, it's all about the seasoning, baby. It's all about the seasoning.
Yeah, man.
I think that's why it's easy to turn vegan now.
What?
I think that's the reason why it's easy to turn vegan now, because you can make anything that you want to and just put the same seasoning that you would put on anything, and it's gonna taste somewhat similar. And that's really why they're saying it's chicken wings, because they're putting chicken wing seasoning on it. Like the same way they would season up their wings, they putting the same seasoning. Say you want a steak, they're gonna season it just like they season the steak.
Yeah.
And just only thing they gotta find is the texture. Like I seen the other day, I seen somebody take a watermelon.
Ew,
barbecue it.
Yes, that's exactly what they did. They breaded it. They breaded it and they made it look like a steak. They breaded it. They put some coconut flour and stuff like that, and then fried it, and then cut it open, and it had a little
Yeah, man.
I seen that.
That is more like a raw fish.
Yeah, right.
That shit's disgusting. Whoever said that was good just lying for.
Yeah, Matthew here says the names are probably more to appeal to the people who want trending vegan items. Most people who are plant-based would eat the items that they would be called, which is a good point.
Yeah.
I think it's just like advertising for like everybody, even if you're not plant-based or like vegan. It's just kind of like to let you like, oh, let me try this, you know?
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Not everyone. So.
People gotta get out of their minds of eating, I guess, vegan, but want it to look like everything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of it's marketing, you know what I mean? And a lot of it is like all trying to get people into buying something, especially if they like you're trying to appeal not only to the people that are plant based, but the people who are curious about being plant based. You know what I mean? And so they want to try these foods that sort of like help them, venture in. Or what if you have to share the item with someone who isn't vegetarian and you're vegetarian? You know what I mean? Like you got to get something that sort of like appeals to anybody. But I feel like if you're vegan, you're gonna tend to eat stuff like, and your flavor palette's gonna be completely different than those that would eat
Yeah.
like, something like chicken wings and shit like that. It would almost be like the thought of eating chicken wings, whether it's a mushroom or cauliflower, whatever. You're just like, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's my thought. I'm not vegetarian, so I don't know.
So yeah, my question would be is, what makes people decide between being plant based and being vegan, and what's the difference?
I don't really know the
Same
difference.
thing. Same. No, it's not.
I think it's like the classification or something
Vegetarians
stupid.
still deal with
One
dairy
sec.
and eggs.
Yeah.
Vegans are people that believe everybody and everything should be from plants. Like vegans believe that you shouldn't wear leather shoes, you shouldn't wear leather jackets, your dog shouldn't eat meat.
So okay, so
some of that shit is just to me it's just plain old crazy. Like if I got a cat that's gonna eat meat, the cat's not gonna eat vegetables at all, fruits. So it's like they don't want nothing from an animal, period. No leather, no corn, no nothing.
So that means that a vegan is plant based, but a plant based is not necessarily vegan.
Yeah, because plant based people they looking at just what they eat. They can eat just plant based, but they not worrying about.
They ain't worrying about the animals.
And,
they ain't not worried about the animals in the situation. They worry about themselves and how they feel about it.
They're more. It's more for health. Like plant-based people, they care about their health more. With like vegans, they care about like everything, like the whole world. But they usually don't really care about their health. Actually, like they'll buy up all the vegan products that are like much more pricey and whatnot. That has like all the soy. That has all those like additives. Yeah, like vegan junk food.
That makes more sense. Now that actually is making a lot more sense to me now.
Hardcore.
I think I'm like 80% plant based. I think I might be 65 to 80% plant based.
Yeah.
I'm not vegan though.
Like they going too far, man. For me, it's like going too far.
Yeah, I'm not vegan.
They don't want nothing to eat meat.
Or like
plant based.
Can't have an animal having more rights than me.
Yeah, like my cat don't eat fish. It eats green peas and sea moss.
And it says here, a vegan present here. The fried cauliflower wings are delicious, brothers and ladies. Sadly, I don't digest them well, and I have leave them alone. They're a healthy option and alternative. Tofu and cauliflower taste good as you prepare it, just as Ricky says. Yeah.
It has no nutritional value though, cauliflower, to be honest.
It's a filler. It's a filler. It's called a vegetable filler.
Yeah,
like that's all it is.
It has no hue, pretty much everything that's like white, like food, doesn't really have any value.
You're exactly right.
Yeah,
it's like a filler. It's kind of like rice. Like if you crush it up, it's kind of like you can turn cauliflower into rice. Pretty much, it's about the same thing.
Neither does Captain Crunch, but I eat that all the time.
the right crispies and whatnot.
I love Captain Crunch, especially with ice cream. Oh my gosh, it's the best.
Captain Crunch used to be rolled. Captain Crunch.
But Captain Crunch just reminds me of like my childhood. Like we were lucky if we got Captain Crunch only on sale, like when it was like a special or whatever. We get that, you know. So I always have a box of Captain. Cookie Crisp. Never had Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, Cookie Crisp was it back in the day. Golden Smacks.
Yeah, I used to love those golden grams and golden smacks.
Yeah.
Same type of cereal, but different name.
That's dessert, man. Cereal is dessert. That's all I could say.
And if it got hard out there, rice puff, just eat the rice puff.
Mm-hmm.
The Fruity Pebbles used to taste just like Skittles.
Oh yeah, Fruity Pebbles.
I can literally taste like all of that going in my nervous system, all those coloring.
My favorite was Count Chocula.
Which you like that, man?
I like all the
like chocolate. Like that just sound like he like chocolate milk.
I like chocolate milk, and I like
He just like chocolate milk. That's it.
Yeah, and I like the mushrooms. But I liked all the cereals with mushrooms, like Lucky Charms, Count Chocula, Boo Berry. Those were all good ones. And then there was a whole Franken like monsters like on the remember that like series. There was Boo Berry, Franken Stone or something.
Yeah, they did. Count Dracula.
Yeah.
Count Chocula.
Yeah, Count Chocula was like my favorite.
The wolf.
Did the werewolf one? I wonder what flavor that one was.
They had all that stuff, especially when you go into like when you shop at the bottom of the when you shop at the bottom of the shelves, you find everything down there. It'd be all type of weird names.
All the easy access cereals. Oh shit.
So about, oh mom, I want the Captain Crunch. You're like, you can't get no Captain Crunch, but you can get Crunch Munch at the bottom.
So someone asked here, what are you all eating when you get the munchies?
You can get vegan ice cream.
I get ice cream with
or the non-dairy.
Chocolate.
But, I'm making that vegan ice cream, that chocolate stuff with the bananas.
I don't really get the munchies, to be honest.
Me too. When I used to smoke, I never got the munchies, and I find that very odd.
For real, you ain't never wanted to eat when you smoke?
No, and honestly, like I do have to, because then I won't knock out. I have to eat in order to knock out, or else I'll be up all night.
Well,
like it depends on the strain that you smoking, really. Like certain strains will have you eating a lot.
That's true.
Yes, it will. It make the food taste like magic.
Still
on my tongue. You be like, God damn, man, it is good. It's just Ritz crackers. Like, why does it taste so good? It got butter on it.
But every once in a while, I get this like sugar like right now, I have a craving. That's why I'm eating like the Captain Crunch and the ice cream. I love chocolate. But I'll
have to get away from the cravings, especially at nighttime.
I know the energy.
So
good. Every once in a while, I just because I don't eat a lot of sugar, so it's like, and especially if I know that, like I knew there was a chocolate ice cream in the cupboard, but I won't go out and buy the stuff, and then I don't know. I'll eat this, and then I won't.
Everything chocolate, like. No matter. I said, so you like all different type of chocolate, like sweets.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll go to the dollar store and I'll buy like 30 different chocolate bars, and I'll take a bite out of each one, and like I'll never finish all the chocolate bar because it's too much chocolate. Do you know what I mean?
It's vanilla. That's all I can say too.
Yeah, I can't do like chocolate ice cream. Like I can eat anything else chocolate, but chocolate ice cream tastes like just I don't know. That stuff is so nasty to me. I never could get used to it.
Probably the additives or something like that.
It just don't taste like chocolate to me. I guess I'm expecting too much, but you know, I guess I think it should taste like chocolate syrup.
What should taste like chocolate syrup?
Like ice cream, chocolate ice cream just don't taste like chocolate to me. I never could really get into it.
I mean,
it don't have a lot of chocolate in it.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot, but it tastes like chocolate.
Yeah,
I mean,
that initial taste tastes like chocolate, and then after that it subsides and it tastes like ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just tastes. It tastes like I don't know if it tastes like coffee to me or it tastes like watered down coffee or chocolate. I just never could get into chocolate ice cream or like strawberry ice cream. Strawberry ice cream is one of the nastiest shit I've ever tasted.
Yeah, strawberry ice cream is sweet, unless you get like a sherbet, you know.
Yeah, sure. I like sherbet and sorbet. I like those too. I mean, I ain't nothing but a frozen smoothie to me. So.
Yeah.
What would be the difference between sherbet and strawberry? Is like one have cream in it and the other one doesn't, or something?
No, it's
fruit based.
How they make it. It's a different method of making it, and they both when you taste it, they both taste different. You have to get them in front of you have to have both of them. You can see the difference and taste the difference.
Oh, okay, but they're both like fruit based.
And you have Italian ice, which is something that's similar to both of those, but they all feel and taste different.
Well, all right.
Like sherbet is like ice cream, so base like it's like rich.
Sherbet isn't like ice cream. It's not the same. Base isn't made the same. It is all of them go through different methods of them making it.
Yeah.
Like that's why they call them. You know, that's why they're all different names. Like I used to think Italian icing was the same as those, but they're not. Similar, but all of them are different.
I see.
One is more expensive. I'm not sure if it's sorbet or sherbet.
What is the difference between? I'm the worst at spelling. Sherbet and sorbet. So I think it comes down to the ingredients.
Yeah, because one of them, I'm not sure if it's sherbet, sorbet. One of them probably do have milk in it as well.
Well, it says sherbet. Sorry, go ahead. You know.
Yeah, like one of them do have milk in it. You can add milk or egg to it, or some type of gelatin to make it. But two of them, I think, is just fruit juice and whole fruit, but blended. And I think Italian icing and what's the other one? Sorbet. I think those two is just all the way fruit.
Yeah. Yeah. Sherbet is made from fruit and sugar and contains between 1 and 2% milk fat. So I guess the difference includes cream. Sherbet includes cream, and sherbet is just fruit and sugar. So one's just the fruit and sugar, and the other one's got fruit, sugar, and cream.
And Italian ice is more of the juice from them. But I know both of them is made at a certain temperature, and one you have to use what is the stuff? ice. You have to use the hot ice in there. Which I don't really agree with it because that shit is like super, super cold.
Nope. Never had that. And
but I'm talking from restaurant, but like I know people don't make that shit like that at home.
Hot ice.
Restaurant is like, that shit is too much.
So Italian ice is that gelato?
Yeah, basically, yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It also might have some milk fat, but it has less than what the other stuff says. Gelato may translate to ice cream in Italian, but the two are just distinct desserts. Gelato contains less milk fat, is served at a warmer temperature, has a texture that's denser and softer than ice cream. It's a result of turning less air while it's freezing.
And I think 2 of them have egg in it as well. Egg whites. Egg whites, or they put gelatin in it, or the carrageenan from Seamoss.
My favorite's always been frozen yogurt. Remember those machines where you used to like, you pull down the handle and it would like punch in the fruit within the yogurt fruits. That was it, yogurt fruits. That was like my favorite ice cream was having yogurt fruits. But
what's it called?
Yogurt fruits. They used to have these like kiosks where you would have the fruit and you would get to pick the fruit, and they have these bars of yogurt, and they press it through a press, and then would squeeze out the fruit mixed in with the yogurt ice cream. That was like my favorite. But I remember having a job one time at Zach's, a franchise called Zach's Frozen Yogurt. It was one of those places where they had the soft serve machines, and they would. This is like pre Menchie's. So this time you would have all the different gummy worms and all that kind of stuff, and you would sit there and add that into the ice cream, and you would weigh the ice cream, and that's what they would pay based on all the extras and whatever you added. And this was like, I think I had that job like what, 80, 89, maybe 87. Like I had to be like 12, 14. I had jobs when I was like really young.
Has anyone worked at McDonald's here?
No.
Okay.
I think I've done every single job but worked at a fast food restaurant like McDonald's.
Yeah.
That was like what we had to do when I was growing up. To work.
A lot of places, but I am the quick master.
Yeah, crack burn it down a little bit.
You worked at McDonald's? Hey, Rick?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, I think I forget how old I was when I worked at McDonald's. I worked at a couple fast food. You know, when you grow up.
I worked at Pizza Hut.
So you get free food.
Yeah,
there's more free food.
That's gonna be eating in your belly for decades.
Yeah, I never worked at the first Pizza Hut. I worked at a Pizza Hut making pizzas, so I can make the pizzas and stuff. But I used to like steal so much food. Oh my God.
Might as well. Right?
I used to throw house parties, right? I used to rent legions and throw parties, and I used to steal the food from Pizza Hut and sell the food at the place. So imagine you go to a party and you had the food, and it was all the chicken wings, and like I had like the big, the Bigfoot pizza they had back then, the giant pizza. Fuck yeah.
That's crazy, man, because I used to steal all the liquor out of the hotels and sell it. Hotel. Like, I used to steaks. Yeah, I used to steal a steak, shrimp, chicken. Like, bro, I stole so many turkeys, bro. I'm like,
oh, wow.
Bro, that's, man. Bro, me and my brother, that's all we used to do. Like, man, look, they're overworking us, bro.
Yeah, they don't care about us, so.
Yeah, I'm like, they're not paying us for overtime, bro. We got to get it how we get it.
No, they knew how they were gonna pay y'all. They knew y'all taking them.
That's how it is. That's why I always treat like employees nice, or whoever I work with nice, because I'm always like, if you give them a better deal than you, then they're less likely to steal. Like the ones they feel like they're getting a shitty end of whatever, they're always gonna try and fuck you over. You know,
Yeah,
it's just business.
In restaurants and anything dealing with food. That's not a good industry.
Well, at the same time, they throw so much food, so it's like, whatever. If the person wants it, they should be able to just take it. You know what I mean? As long as you're not going too crazy. I remember
I had a good deal.
I used to work at a restaurant, I think when I was 13, called JJ Muggs. And they used to have a brunch on Sundays where they had a mountain of lobsters. And I used to always steal the half of lobsters and stuff like that. And it was like you had to be careful because you couldn't get caught with them, because it was like back then, like lobsters, like, can you believe that they used to have all you can eat lobster?
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Boy, that's bougie right there, boy.
Yeah, or at least like we thought, right?
No, they used to even have all you can eat lobster at the Mandarin.
Yeah, they sure did.
I remember lobster
Yeah.
used to be cheap.
Yeah, back in Vegas, yeah, you used to get all type of stuff for cheap.
Yeah.
The food used to be so cheap in Vegas. Oh man.
That's the one thing I've always wanted to go to Vegas to try out is I used to be a big buffet restaurant, like foodie kind of guy. So I've always wanted to check out their buffets that just like go crazy at all the options.
Now it ain't even worth it.
No. Well, probably like they don't even have it anymore because of COVID, right?
I don't know. I haven't been back since.
They can't let that shit happen anymore.
Yeah.
Man, they're still partying in Vegas, man. Them Vegas ain't stopping.
Is that we shouldn't even be eating like that all at once.
Well, I'm sure they're partying in Vegas, but I don't think they're gonna be doing the foods and shit. Or I don't know. Down here,
I don't know how you can shut the food down and you ain't shutting the party down. I'm closer to people at the party than I am with the food.
That's a good point. That's why this stuff that doesn't make any sense
at all.
Yeah.
It's all about compliance now.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, they just want you to comply, follow their directions. You know
and they're
what I mean?
texting us too how far we would go. Hey, Julien, did you see just recently about the truck drivers here?
No, what happened?
Yeah, so basically they wanted to quote unquote mandate it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now I just got like an email from CPV News saying that they're pretty much like lifting that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
So that's kind of bullshit, like make up your mind.
You sent me that. I saw that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're going to try down here, but all I know is we can carry the weapons in our truck now. So I'm dropping them off.
Yeah, no, we need you guys.
This shit's crazy. And like, what do you getting vaccinated for? You know what I mean? Like, how many people do you really come in contact?
The new virus.
Yeah.
the deadly new variant, where people are like dropping on the streets.
There's no protection.
You hear a lot of ambulance right now, right?
Yeah. If the protection worked, then I could understand the argument, but there's no protection. So, to me, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want someone started saying, "Oh, well, I saw you saying this on whatever Instagram." Yeah. You know what I
mean? Somebody died from it, so it's a sensitive topic. I don't even talk about it. Somebody died from it, so it's sensitive.
I'm like, fuck, people die every day, man. Like if you're ready to go, man, you're gonna go. COVID or no COVID. You know what I mean? Like some people can't step off the fucking street without getting hit by a car. Like what does that mean? You know?
It's just a lie though that like they're shooting up on us.
Yeah. Like right now, they're not talking about how like everybody's doing a protesting right now about like the gun laws down here. They're not talking about.
Oh, you guys are protesting, eh?
Yeah, and like in these hip towns and shit. Yeah,
okay. Why? What's happening? Exactly.
Okay, it's like they don't want people to tell them what to do. They don't want people to tell them about their guns. They don't want people to tell them about taking a vaccine. See these, and white folks. I'm not no racist, but they really like if they don't want to fuck with it, they're not fucking with it.
They're not.
We need everybody. Everybody.
Yeah, like,
it doesn't even matter.
Like they be outside with their gun. We can carry the right to carry that on pow.
And they can do it, right? Yeah, so it's like why not roll with them too, you know? That's a big advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can see a white boy walk around with some big ass guns. But he can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I'm glad that they are, regardless, like aside from all of that, like I'm glad that they are. Because we all should be carrying, especially now, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, you have even truck drivers protesting, but that was just something else because they're basically gypping truck drivers like, I'm obviously getting gypped out here. But they don't let us know exactly how much the load is. They say we get paid 75%, but we only get paid 75% of what we see.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Holy crap.
I don't know. I think if we all like revolted one day, they can't, like, they can't stop us.
I mean, I don't know, Hiroshima.
Oh damn.
Like I'm just talking about really like, man, like the most dangerous thing. Knowledge is dangerous, yeah, because all you need is a few miles of screwdriver and some water.
Sorry? You what?
I said knowledge is a
Hey.
Bro, water, a few wires, a battery, and a screwdriver, bro. That's the recipe. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, then good. But that's some scary shit to know. Like water. Like water, bro. Water in a car battery. That's it. All you need.
Really?
You can fuck up a lot of shit. My problem with a lot of shit was being nosy and getting a little too much information. Because when you know shit, you look for certain stuff that I feel like you shouldn't look for. Because I kind of see danger in a lot of shit. But water can be really deadly if you know how to use it, and it's messed up. Like that's
and it's legal.
For me to know. Yeah, it's a messed up. Like this shit's scary.
I don't know if I want to put water in someone's car battery.
No, it's just electric current going through water creates hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And all you need is a few wires, a screwdriver, and some water. Get you a stainless steel screw or a silver screw. And put that in water with a battery. Connect the battery to the wire. You connect the wire to the screw. And put that in water. And those fumes that come from that water is hydrogen. And that shit light up anything.
Them smells, man. Really smell like flowers.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Easy to carry around. Yeah, there's this guy. His name is Canadian Prepper. Well, his handle is.
Oh yeah, that's my partner there.
Yeah, a lot of Americans actually watch him. So he made a video about like a bear spray, like making your own. So that's kind of like good to look through, especially as a woman. So.
Yeah, he has a lot of information too. He sells a lot of good gadgets and stuff too.
Yeah, he does.
Well, that's one thing I don't want to come near as a fucking bear. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys camp, but like fucking bears are bullshit, man.
Oh no.
They're trouble and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of coyotes too now, and like foxes coming out.
Like,
they're killing all the coyotes out there.
I've camped with people where we put like up an electric fence to like protect us so that the bears don't come in and like get at our food and stuff like that when you're in the campground.
Y'all have bears up there?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I never see bears. I'm so happy because I don't know what I'm gonna do if I see.
Tons of bears. They even come.
Yeah, I might have a chance to fight.
I'm not even looking at no
grizzly bears. I don't got no chance in hell.
They even
I'm not even thinking about trying to like. That's not even a thought that could come across my mind is fighting a bear.
They come close in the city. Yeah.
That's not even an instinct that pops up. Like, I want to fight you. I'm gonna fight that. Like,
I got a chance with a black one, but the brown one, nah, man, it's too big. Like,
those grizzly bears are crazy.
Yeah, grizzly bears too big, but like you can shoot them in the head about 5 times, they're still gonna kill you. I was gonna call that a wrap.
Yeah, I don't business with those guys. They'll really fuck you up. I watched some YouTube
stuff. I be scared to go out. Like sometimes I gotta stop and use the restroom, which my restroom is outside. Sometimes, you know, I got to let some water out, and I always like look because I'm like, man, I hope no leopard or anything hop out a mountain lion and grab me because it's over.
That's it. A mountain lion got you? Fuck. They don't have mountain. I don't think they have mountain lions here. They might have bobcats. But we have a lot of deer in the neighborhood. Like where I live, I see deer like maybe once a month or so. They pass by the path in my house.
Yeah, every night. I probably go out my back porch right now. I see a deer in my backyard.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm in the city. Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's with us. We're like in the city. We're like in that little kind of like.
I have a deer in my backyard. I don't know. I ain't seen them in a while. Somebody might have shot them deer.
Where you from? You from Canada too?
That's Ricky from.
No, I'm in Atlanta.
He's in Atlanta.
Oh, you're in Atlanta. Oh man, Atlanta. Oh my God, Atlanta. God, man, I thought you was cool, but you're from Atlanta. I was just messing with you.
No, Ricky sells Seamoss. He does and Seamoss powder now, and Seamoss soaps and what else? What else?
Oh, are you the one that's doing the freeze drive?
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, hold on. He on? He in the room?
Well, he's on the live stream, so he's on the Facebook on the live. Yeah, so he can hear you guys, and you guys can hear him. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he has a freeze dried machine, and we've been talking a lot about freeze dried Seamoss, and even just like getting into other stuff like powdering fruits and other herbs and stuff like that.
I was actually supposed to do some fruits today, but I ended up doing some more Seamoss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's good to get the numbers up and get the quantity so that I think, like you said, like not too many people understand the differences and the value of it, but as the market grows and more people become educated, you know what I mean? It's like one day you're gonna turn around, bloop, you know.
And exactly, that's pretty much. Well, actually, the last couple of weeks, because I really haven't advertised for it. I just really just, you know me, I'm a creator, so I just sit back and create most of the time, and I don't advertise. But yeah, now I'm getting into the purples and the greens, and it's actually a lot different. The reason why is because, so when you start freeze drying and things of that nature, like you lose a lot of weight as far as with your sea moss. And so even selling it is somewhat harder because I think I did like a pound, like a pound and a half came out to be almost 12 ounces.
Oh wow, less than a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you start in, but what it is different. It's different between the gold and the purple. Like if I do gold, I'll actually get more out of it than I would purple. But if you actually take the purple or you take the green powder, it is strong. It's tough. Like it actually, like you can't taste it, but it's like as far as what it's doing, like you immediately feel it.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to freeze dry?
40 hours altogether.
Man, what the?
Yeah.
How many pounds can you do in 40 hours? Like 10 pounds?
With as far as the freeze dryer brand?
What's that?
I said the company. What company makes your freeze dryer?
Sonova. Like they have one, Harvest Right. Like they have one, I think it's Harvest Right.
Yeah, that's the one that I be checking out, but they high as hell, man. That's like 8,000 for one freeze dryer.
Exactly. Like, but Sonova is actually pretty much the exact same price. The only difference is that what I've seen with Harvest Right, it was actually a lot louder. Like when I say loud, it's like an engine running in your house. So I kind of went away from that one. Sonova one, it actually is loud for like a couple minutes, and then you don't really hear it. It's just kind of like it kind of looks like a roaring sound that you hear, but you don't really hear.
What's the price range on those? The ones that you have?
8,000. Like it ended up coming to be like, because I ended up having to get it shipped from China, so it ended up being 10,000.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like right now, you can hear, if you can hear it.
That's not too loud.
What's that?
That's not too loud. Like you could keep it in the garage. Sounds like an air pump.
Yeah. And the Harvest Right was loud. It was like amplify that.
Pardon?
Yeah, the Harvest Right was too loud.
Oil pump. It has an oil pump on where you got to replace it with automatic.
Yep. No, we have an oil pump on it. And like, so that's the first thing that I had to learn how to really use is the oil pump. Like the freeze dryer is kind of easy to use once you start learning what settings to put it at. It's just the oil pump. Like after, it's like you have to change the oil in it after every 5 uses. All these certain things, like you have to maintain it. It's really, I kind of got it to a kind of down to a science now, but for the first couple months, it was more of trial and error, making sure I had everything right. I didn't know how to change the oil, and so I had to figure out how to change the oil without breaking it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. My problem too. Like I was looking for one. I was like, nah, I don't want to deal with that at all.
But I tell people it's actually if you do get one, even though you spend $8,000 to $10,000, it's a wonderful investment. Like it's an excellent investment because, like, if I start freeze drying fruit right now, I can make my profits back in no time at all. Like, just look at, if you go to Amazon and try to even look up freeze-dried strawberries, you're gonna spend $30 for like a 4-ounce.
$40 over here.
You see, so it all comes back.
Freeze dryer, but it's a flavor of meat.
That's true. And you can get some sort of like seconds strawberries and make them into strawberry, freeze-dried strawberry. Especially with the powder. They're not going to notice.
No, like, so what you really end up doing, so the easiest way that I've seen to turn it in the like fruit into a powder is that the same way, and I actually want to do this with sea moss as well. I'm gonna blend it up, and I'm gonna put a little bit of water in the strawberries and blend it up and turn it into almost like a juice, and just pour it in there. And then and so it ends up turning into so when you actually take it out of the freeze dry, it's pretty much already in powder form. Only thing you gotta do is just kind of tap on it a couple times and just pretty much breaks down into powder. So I want to do that with sea moss instead of actually having to grind it. I'm going to actually put it as far as just I'm gonna wash it off. I'm gonna put it in the blender. I'm gonna blend it all up, and then I'm gonna put it in there like that and see if I can do it without even having to grind at all.
So you're gonna make a gel with it and put it in the freeze dry. Yep. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work better because it's the same thing. Like it's gonna freeze just like soup would freeze in the freeze dry, and you just gonna turn the powder. So yeah, you have a better chance at just doing a gel that's gonna come out better for you, way better.
Yeah. See, I like doing it the raw form. The raw form. Reason why I like doing the raw form because it looks just like before you put it in. And so picture wise, the raw form is wonderful, but like convenient wise, I think I want to turn it into a gel and then put it in there.
Okay, so like as far as because I want to freeze dry it, but the money is the thing. I'm like, man, if I buy that, I got to get my money's worth. Like, you feel like
no, that's the thing. Like, you want to get your money's worth. Like, you gotta put in the cost. Like, okay, how am I gonna get my $10,000 back? How many bottles I gotta sell?
Yeah.
To get my $10,000 back, and that's really what it is. That's what you end up having to say. Okay, and sooner or later somebody's gonna know what freeze dried is, and sooner or later I'm gonna sell some of these bottles. But like, I don't know. I don't mind it right now. I guess it's one of those things where it's going, like, people are going to advance and people are going to want more. Like, I don't think a lot of people really understand. Like, a lot of people are really kind of still on gel, and so they don't know anything else. You start telling them about powder, like, sea moss comes in powder form. You're like, yeah, you can get it in powder form. It's the exact same thing as taking it in a gel form, especially when you have it in the freeze dry form because you keep all the nutrients. That's what a lot of people.
Better way to do it is to freeze dry because it keeps more nutrients. Depending on what it is and what particular plant it is, it's better to freeze dry it or dehydrate it, depending on what you have.
Yeah, and really with sea moss is more of there's a lot of people that convenience wise, we don't want to make gel like that all the time. Like, I know I don't. Like, I don't be wanting to make no gel. I be wanting to just scoop and go.
So you make the sea moss, the kind of strips, the Walmart sea moss out of powder, or you use both?
No, I use St.Lucian sea moss.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yep, yeah, I use St.Lucian sea moss. That's all I use.
Nobody really makes that one out of powder, and that's like something I always look for as a powder form of that, but no one sells.
Yeah, when you can get all the, like, you can get You can get regular gold, you can get freeze-dried gold, you can get freeze-dried multi, you can get freeze-dried green, you can get freeze-dried purple. Yeah. Like you get that's all we do now is freeze-dried sea moss. That's it. Like I have some dehydrated, but I don't keep a lot dehydrated.
Yeah, just the freeze-dry.
Well, we sell everything, but I've kind of gone into where my money is mostly invested at.
But you're not selling gel.
That's true.
You're not selling. He asked you if you.
No, I do not. No, I don't sell gel because I don't believe in shipping gel. Mm-hmm. So, I could sell gel in Atlanta, but I actually sell to too many. I actually sell wholesale, so I sell to too many people that are already making gel. I really kind of got into the powder because I was kind of like me actually having a lot of wholesale customers. I was kind of looking for different ways where they can kind of expand for their customers as well. Like most of them have gel already, so we actually got into soaps and powder.
How much do you sell it for the same amount? Not by weight, but if you put a pound of sea moss in there and you make it out of powder, would you sell it for the same amount? Powder form, and if it was just raw, do you sell it for the same amount, or do you add?
No, I actually sell it for a lot more. Well, I won't say a lot more because I sell it kind of like how you would break down. So I sell an ounce of powder. I sell an ounce of powder like you would sell a 16-ounce thing of gel because it's going to last the same amount of time. So if you actually got a 16-ounce thing of gel and it's usually going to cost you in between $15 to $25, my ounce of powder is going to cost you $17.99. You get to use it the exact same way because that's really whoever is taking a 16-ounce thing of gel, they'll actually want a 1-ounce thing of powder because it's going to work for them the exact same way. So I sell it like that. I typically don't like to sell it in bulk yet, except for the dehydrated because I can actually sell it at a good price point. The freeze dried I will not sell in bulk because it's really hard to sell in bulk just for the fact that you're losing so much weight when you actually freeze dry it.
Yeah, but so the weight really should matter because the shit gonna be so concentrated because you freeze dry it.
Exactly.
Like when you freeze dry it, say you put a pound of sea moss in there, just the raw sea moss.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to buy, which I know it may not be a pound about time it come out there because it's gonna lose a lot of moisture, but how much would that be? Would you calculate that pound of sea moss, the price plus what it had to go through? Like, see what I'm saying? Like, how much would you charge?
Yes, and I thought about that and just saying, okay, if somebody wanted just sea moss and they wanted me to freeze dry it for them, it's really hard because
here's the thing too. It's hard to calculate all that work that's involved in preparing that into a powder. It's not like you just drop it into the grinder and it's like you got to run it through a 48-hour freeze dried machine.
That's okay. So now you're actually talking the biggest thing. It's if it was a situation where, because the thing is, like, the 40 hours, you only really are able to do around 5 pounds of sea moss in 40 hours. Mm-hmm. So that's where the bulk comes in, to where you really can't do bulk because you're not able to process a lot at one time. So if somebody wanted to, so let's just say you wanted me to freeze dry 5 pounds for you, that would be 2 days where I wouldn't have anything coming for myself. So that's where it comes into, that number is kind of like, it's hard to put a number on it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Keith. So like if you selling 2 pounds for $120, after that, it just be the process is going through. You're gonna charge for that time, right?
Yeah. So really, like, I'd be charging you for, and that's really what you have to think about after that. It's like, okay, how much would I lose in that time? So if I was making Seamoss for myself and I actually freeze dried 5 pounds, how much would I make off that? And then just saying, okay, well, I don't have to sell it. I can just, somebody already wants to buy it. Then that's where you kind of say, but still, 5 pounds? Like, I'm be truthful. Like, I started doing the math on it. Like, even for a pound of freeze dried powder, I probably would charge somebody $175 to $200
Mm-hmm.
for a pound.
Well, how much do you lose when you run it through the machine? Like if you started with 1 pound.
So if I started with 1 pound, I'd probably get 8 to 9 ounces at the most out of it.
Once it's right to the powder.
Yeah. You make it like it's really hard. Like you make it like, and I would say sometimes, because I've been just kind of dabbling with different sea mosses. So like when you actually get one that's actually the thicker kind, you actually get more yield.
Yeah.
So the thicker sea moss, the sea moss that a lot of people don't like, actually yields a lot better when it comes to the powder form. So those are things that you kind of start looking for and things of that nature, so you can get the best yield out of it. Even kind of changing to where, like you can kind of adjust it. Like I've actually put on 2 different, maybe 3 different parameters as far as on the freeze dry to see if it changed, and it really doesn't too much. But yeah, like it's hard. So like when you start talking about freeze dry, like. And this is really what I'm afraid of, is that there's going to be some other entity that's going to come out and they're going to be charging somebody like $500 for a pound, and people are going to be paying it. And then I sit up and said $200, and now I'm feeling kind of stupid. Because people pay for convenience. Like people pay for convenience, and that's the and truthfully, the thing is that I think sea moss is going to go up in price anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's drastically low compared to what it was even a year and a half ago. You know.
You say it's low or high?
Low.
It's low.
Jeez.
It's low, and I don't even know. I don't even understand why it's low. You know, well, I do understand why it's low. Let me not say that. I understand why it's low. Know why it's low? Because it's a free product that you get from the ocean.
Yeah, and anybody can pick it up and just sell it.
Exactly. So what it is kind of like how it's kind of like how the government makes money out of nothing. It's kind of like Bitcoin.
The powder sea moss, I guess it depends on. I mean, you have to have so much sea moss, and you have to buy so much so it can be cheap, because powder sea moss is like, man, I get a pound for $30, $32. It won't be the Gasolari. It will be the kind of strip. So it's like, that shit kind of confused me. I'm like, man, is this shit like filled with fillers or what? But like, they have to just be doing that shit by like massive amounts.
I'm okay.
Always out of stock.
You know what? I'm gonna break it down to you. There's certain ways that they get it to 23. Now, first and foremost, like, you gotta really look at the fine print on what they're saying. Most of them say they have Irish moss, right? So really Irish moss, and they're saying that they're getting it, like a lot of them will say that they're getting it from Canada. But Canada only produces Chondrus crispus. Chondrus crispus has a hue that is purple. You start looking at the moss, you start looking at the powder, and it's brown. It's not even like, okay. So
I made it before. It's not gonna come out the same color as the how it looks.
Exactly. You're gonna lose some hue, but you're still going to have a hue that's going to be of a certain color. I know because actually, if I actually pull out my multi right now, it's actually purple. Conjures Crispus should be almost the exact same. It should almost have the exact same hue because when you wash it off and you actually stick it in water, it still has that exact same hue.
Yeah, the purple.
Only time it loses its hue is when you stick it in water too long.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're actually doing sea moss, when you're actually freeze drying sea moss, only thing I do is wash it off. I do not soak it. I just wash it off. So I'm not losing any hue. It's keeping its hue. So that's one thing that you guys have to. And then also they're saying that so when they say they have Irish moss that's coming from Canada, then you understand that Graciela doesn't come from Canada. It's only Conjures Crispus that come from Canada. So really, where are they getting it from?
I mean, the Gracilaria is the Irish moss. I mean, the Conjures Crispus is really Irish moss.
Yes.
The Gracilaria, it just picked up that name, you know.
Yeah.
Irish moss because Gracilaria isn't from Irish. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a history.
Yeah, it's a history behind why they call it Irish moss, but Jamaicans and everybody else just call everything Irish moss. They pick up anything.
Exactly. So when you got it coming from Canada, it has to be Conjures Crispus. And if it's Conjures Crispus, then it has to have a hue to the powder that's coming out. Like only person I actually really kind of study this, and Atlantic Gold, and we actually mentioned them earlier. They're the only ones that say that they have Conjures Crispus in a powder, and when you look at their powder, it's a purple. It's a purple hue. Now that's the only other person. That's the only other company that I know that actually has a powder. Well, there's a couple others. Let me not say that's the only other company. There's a couple others that do. But if you look at mostly, and I'm talking about if you look at Amazon, but if you look at most of these companies, they don't have sea moss powder like they say they do. And you see that they're mostly out. Most time they're out of stock of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what happens is
most people sell the flakes too because they don't harvest it. They don't harvest it like that.
Exactly.
And it's like most people sell the flakes, and the flakes is sun dried, so it's gonna turn beige and brown anyway.
And a lot of times, and another reason why they're actually able to do it because they're not really, so they're going through a different type of process as far as I don't believe that they're even drying it out to turn it into powder. I believe that they're turning it into almost like like we were saying, like a gel-like form, and then dehydrating it from there to turn it into a powder.
Yeah.
Another thing that you also have to look at is you always have to look out when they say that this sea moss may contain shells such and such and such and such and such and such in it. That means that they didn't wash the sea moss.
Yeah, that's something that we have to look out for too.
Yeah, like okay, so they'll actually warning this product contains shells such and such and other things, other particles from the sea. Please beware. They'll actually say that on it. Like they'll say when you actually go look at it, and when you go to their websites and you actually start looking at their stuff, they'll let you know. That lets you know that they're not washing their sea moss. They're not going through their sea moss, picking it out, washing it, making sure that you don't have anything that's supposed to be not in there. That's what they're not doing. So they're skipping a whole bunch of steps. Most of the time, they're not even really drying it. They're just kind of turning it into a powder form by skipping a whole bunch of steps. I don't know the process because I've never tried to do nothing like that. So those are a couple things that I look for when I actually because I truthfully, if I would have seen a company that had the sea moss powder that I wanted, then I would have started making sea moss powder.
Yeah.
And that's just the basics around it.
Like the St.Lucian sea moss, that's the one that I really want out of powder because take it. I like it. It's real good. It keeps me feeling full. Yeah. Both of them keep me feeling full, but the guy Solar, like that one, really I can do a lot with it. I can make juice with it. Like I can put it in juice, I can put it in tea, I can put it in everything and don't notice. Plus,
exactly,
I remove the flavor from it. Like
yeah,
I remove the flavor from it like completely. You know, but I can't do that with the other one. The other one is so damn strong and like, damn man, it tastes like fish guts.
Yeah. The gold, like when I do gold, you can't taste anything at all. Like even when I do the powder, I've got to the point where I've tried to just let me just go ahead and put the powder in my mouth and let it sit there for a while and not do anything, and then take some water a little bit later, and it still don't taste like anything. It's like, like I don't. It's hard for me. I got gel in my refrigerator. It's hard for me to even take gel anymore. I'm just so sick with powder.
Yeah. Seamoss on your website?
What's that?
Do you sell a powder Seamoss on your website?
Yes. So if you go to www.goldseamoss.com, it'll have all the powders there. We started doing the.
Actually, I think I actually do have that website saved because I save everything.
You've probably seen his website before and seen it, but he's got like a whole, like, how many different types of you got like a range of flavor, like a whole library now.
Yeah, so really we have all the colors in freeze dried, and then we have gold regular. We actually have, and the thing is that I have it, but I haven't came out with it yet. I actually have a Seamoss maca root and nettle leaf capsule that we just did. Yeah, I'm just actually waiting for the bottles to come in. So once the bottles come in, I'll actually really start advertising for that one, because I'm in love with that one. That's that. Woo. So yeah, we have all the powders, and that's the new one. So the black burdock root and Seamoss is also a good one that everybody seems to love.
Yeah, you can literally feel the benefits within a few days. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, like who was it? Tata actually kind of let me know. She was like, "Rick, I feel this." I'm like, "Oh, you feel it?" I'm like, because Tata always tells you.
It's constant, like it never goes away as long as you keep taking it.
Yeah, we actually, like, I'm actually excited about the Seamoss black and burdock root one. But this maca root and nettle leaf, like, 'cause I like both of those apart, but together they just come together with, like, Seamoss to me is kind of like the best multivitamin. So that's why I actually look at gold for. Like, gold to me is like, if I wanted to take a multivitamin, which I never took a multivitamin before, so when I started taking Seamoss, that's what it felt like what a multivitamin should feel like. So I always look at Seamoss as the base, like a multivitamin, and then you just add certain things to it to kind of supplement your day. So now,
like when I wash my Seamoss and soak it, which I have like I might go to the extreme, I don't know, but I have like a water filter. I have a water filter. I use the water from that, and which I soak it to get all the salt off, and then I soak it again, and I add trace minerals to it as well. I add this company called Trace Mineral. They make minerals from concentrated seawater. It's like evaporated, then they collect it, and I add that to my Seamoss too to give it like a boost. Because Trace Minerals, like, that's the only other company I can find that actually have like real trace minerals that's not synthetic.
Okay.
Like that's the only thing I add to my Seamoss, or I add lemon juice to it. Or cinnamon. That's the only thing I add to it.
Yeah, that's like me. I'll add, just depending on what, like the flavor I want. Either it's a lime or cinnamon. Like I'll put a couple cinnamon sticks in there, or I'll put some lime in there, just depending on, how I'm feeling. I really don't make gel though. Like I make gel and it all just sits in the refrigerator now.
Yeah, that does happen a lot. So like I started just putting it raw too. Like I'll wash it when I'm on it. I just eat it raw sometimes.
Yeah, I think I might have about 8 to 10 jars of gel in my refrigerator right now, just sitting there. And I ain't even, like, I'll make it because I have so much sea moss, so I'll just make it just cause, and they just sit there. And so after about a month, I'll go through my refrigerator and I'll dump them out and I'll make some more, just to sit there for 4 more weeks.
You can keep that stuff. You actually shouldn't if you have a garden or something, you actually can put that in the garden too.
Yeah, like wifey was saying, compost, and yeah, we probably have a whole forest in our backyard if we keep on doing it.
I noticed a lot of, I be looking at the ice packs because I order a lot of like frozen stuff, come to my house, and a lot of the ice packs is made with sea moss now. You have
really?
in there from the sea moss to make the jam. Yeah, and it's biodegradable. Like they trying to do it, So what you do is when you get that, it tell you on a pack, just like open it up and dump it in your garden.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, man, it's cool. I was like, man, they use sea moss for a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So somebody buying a lot of sea moss and turning it into ice packs. Ain't this about something?
Yeah, but not every sea moss is grown for consumption for us. Some is just grown to put on your body topical. Some is grown. You have food grade and you have non-food grade. So it's some people just buy it for that reason, just to put in their garden. Some people buy it just for like skin products and hair products and stuff like that. Like sea moss is, if you're not looking for quality sea moss, then you can get it for super cheap.
Yeah,
that's if you're not trying to consume it.
No, actually, we actually got some sea moss right now that we should have got for super cheap, but we're gonna use it for facial products and hair products and all type of other stuff. I was talking to Julien about this earlier. He's the one. No, I was about to throw the box out. So and Julien's like, no, you don't throw the box out. You can use it for.
Yeah, soaps, everything.
Man, I be putting in the bathtub sometimes when I have one soap.
Man, I didn't even want to put this stuff in soap. I was like, man, nah, throw this out. And Julien's like, no, don't throw it out. Just use it for. I'm like, you know what? I am gonna get it. Wifey, you can have that box of.
It's some ugly shit, but
I'll just dehydrate it. I'll dehydrate it for you.
Someone says, Ricky, have you considered donating those jars of sea moss to a small group of senior citizens regularly with health issues rather than let it go to waste?
I always thought about, truthfully, what I want to do is I don't actually want to do that period. Just go in and give out like 20, 30 jars. I just be locked up in a hole. Like if somebody said, hey, Rick, you want to send these jars over here? I would do it in a heartbeat. I just, like, you just tell me where to send them to. You tell me a place in Atlanta where I can go to drop off 20 jars to either homeless, old folks, and I don't mean to say it like that, but homeless old people, old people, or something of that nature. I'm all for it because I have too much sea moss, and I have to find something to do with a lot of this stuff.
That would be a good initiative to try.
Yeah. Actually, who asked that question too? Because I actually would want to get with them, and if they have any type of knowledge of how to kind of go to these senior citizen spots and just kind of say, okay, we got sea moss. A guy can drop off a couple batches every week for y'all.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just a matter of like just calling them up and asking them. Maybe you'll have to call like 10 people. One
Yeah,
more.
somebody let me have them sign the disclaimer. There
Yeah.
you go.
Man, your boy from Peru file everybody. Shit, that motherfucker slinging that
Oh yeah.
Well, last thing, the last thing they need to see is Ricky on the 9 o'clock news or whatever. Like, local Seamoss mogul, is arrested and sued for food poisoning outbreak at local retirement home.
Hey, this about that's about look again. Like, man, I was just trying to help out, man.
Yeah.
I didn't make
Like, I don't know what the. That'd be
Local
crazy.
man contaminates 150 senior citizens.
Seamoss. That'd be crazy.
Oh, I need that disclaimer.
Yeah, you definitely need a disclaimer. Because, some of them have some fragile diets, like immune systems and stuff like that. And, Seamoss might not be.
like, she brought us some healthy here, some Seamoss. I don't want that. I want the rich.
No, and like if it makes them go to the bathroom, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, what is this? Like, I don't want this." They think that that's gonna be a bad thing, but that is like one of its benefits.
Yeah, they might.
I mean, they'll take it depending on what you put in. I don't like to tell people what. I'm like, here, drink this.
Yeah.
You're either gonna like it or you're gonna hate it.
Right.
Man, better not give them no green. Don't give them no green Seamoss. Or man,
But
that green Seamoss, man.
I think it would be beneficial to them. Like, I know a guy named this guy Kenya. He is a company called Vegan Electric, and he gave some to his local neighbor, who is like retired, like old age, and she had an accident where she like smashed her car in a telephone pole because she just forgot about her driving or something like that. And so the daughter like came back and wrote a thank you letter because he had dropped some Seamoss for her to try, and he says like since she's been trying the Seamoss, her like mental state or her like awareness has gotten better.
Wow, that's amazing. Good for her.
Yeah, well, a lot of our stuff is due to our gut. Like
The gut health.
that gut health is serious.
No, you're right. It is true because it controls everything: your mood, your reactions, all that hormones. So, pardon, Maria? I don't know if she's talking, but I can't hear.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay, sorry. Thought you were.
They're my feeders. Makes a lot of noise.
Cool. I don't know. I've been feeling so snacky tonight. Normally I'm not so snacky, but then like.
Have you taken any Seamoss?
I took Seamoss earlier today. It feels like I was coming off the Seamoss, and that's made me because all day I didn't eat.
And that's what makes you snacky. That's what I'm about to say. When you coming off, like, see, if I take Seamoss all day long, I won't snack.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I stop taking Seamoss, it's like I'm looking for the nearest snack. It's like my body is running to the nearest snack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's constantly like that.
Mm-hmm. Is a third brain in our gut? I don't know. That's a good question. I think the third brain or the third eye has a lot to do with that. And I really want to start working on ways to sort of feed it and meditate towards it. I think there's a lot of power in that gland.
Well, I think once you start to decalcify it, then like a lot of this stuff that happens is somewhat natural, and you don't know that it's going on in your body, and it's like you're changing, but it's a natural change. Mm-hmm. like I know I don't think the same way I thought yesterday.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it that way. Yeah, Seamoss definitely changes that.
Yeah, I think it does alter your consciousness or your way of thinking, like your paradigm and stuff like that. For sure. I don't feel like I feel like I totally vibrate at a different frequency when I'm taking it than when I'm not. You know.
Yeah, it actually make you feel like that's true because man, I haven't been eating right at all, and I feel like, oh man, I feel like, yeah.
But the thing is,
I have any Seamoss out here with me right now either, so my stomach is like killing me, and this is my first day back out. Stomach already killing me.
Yeah. That stomach, man. Jeez.
Yeah, Seamoss is my go-to stomach aid. You know, I always had bad stomach pain because I always eat something I'm not supposed to be eating, and I want to sit up and eat all this stuff. You know,
your body's not used to it.
Yeah, you know, and like sometimes like feta cheese. I'm sorry, like I can't be around feta cheese. I know I'm gonna indulge.
Yeah. You like your feta.
Yeah, feta cheese.
But when you indulge, you already know what's gonna happen afterwards.
I got off of cheese before, and then I was around it again, and I was like, oh man, this is what I'm missing.
Shit.
But for the most part, like even when I went home, I was in bed for I was home for like a week and a half or 2 weeks. I was in bed for most of that time because like I was feeling that bad, and plus my dog wore me out. I tried to run with him. He made me feel like an old man, and I was out of the count. Like, my stomach been killing me. And when I went home, I didn't even take any Seamoss. Like, I was feeling bad. I just couldn't push myself to take anything.
Really? I wonder if your recovery. I wonder what your recovery would have been like if you did take some Seamoss.
What about capsules? Oh yeah, you don't like capsules, right?
No, I do capsules, but I'm not about to do my own capsules. Like, that's out the But I mean, it's because I'm in a truck, like, you know, doing this job. This shit really have my body feeling miserable.
Yeah,
and like I'm just I'm not eating healthy. Like, I see this stuff and I'm like, man, I ain't got time for that shit. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I ain't got time to make it. I ain't got time to do this. I ain't got, you know, and that's why right now, like, I'm trying to leave this company, so I had to extend my lease a little longer. Because I just found the company I want to deal with today, because I can dictate what I do now. You know, once I get with the company, but like working with this company just has me miserable. Like a lot of, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I'm like, man, I'm miserable as a mother. Like, I'm really like frustrated, miserable. That's how I feel. You know, I don't act like it with people. You know, some people get miserable. They want you to be miserable with them, but
yeah, I'm the same.
It's, you know, I'm unhealthy right now. You know, and I know all the herbs and Seamoss work because I used to have arthritis in my back since I was 16. It took me 2 weeks to get rid of arthritis out of my lower back. Which I went to the Bahamas and I got some herbs from this guy out there that make herbs, make different tinctures and stuff. It took me 2 weeks to get rid of that, and that's something I suffered from since I was 16. Well, I found out I had it when I was 16, arthritis in my back, which my back always was hurting since I was little. Even my ankles and my knees, because I'm bow-legged. So, you know, it's a lot of things that I took care of once I got older, dealing with herbs and sea moss and stuff like that. But right now, I just feel like trash. I need to start juicing again. I didn't juice in a minute. Juicing really helps me too. Juicing helps me a lot.
Right.
So how long you be in the truck?
How long? Like 5 years, even though the company only counted it as like 2 years, but I've been out here since 2017. I've been out since 2017. I've been in my own truck the past 3 years. In the truck I'm in now, I drove with two different people, two different trainers with this company. I've been driving for like 5 years or 4.5 years, and I'm ready to give it up with this company because I'm not making enough money. I want to make $10,000 a week, and I can't make that with this company.
Yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta go solo on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right now. I drive for myself right now. I drive by myself, but I need a dispatcher, or I'd rather go with a smaller company, somebody that's working out of their garage as dispatcher, because I can work with him and he'll give me 85% of that load.
That's why you get more of that load.
It's not like this company, because I can be in California. They'll pay me $5,000 to leave California and go to Maine. That's really cross country. So by the time I get up there, all I made from that load is $2,000 because I had to spend gas money and eat and stuff like that. And that's only one load. And that might take me a week to get up there. So I didn't make shit but $1,500 on my check, and I still have to pay taxes after that. So, I mean, you can make money out here. You just got to own your own stuff and work with a smaller group of people.
They say, tell Mr. Vegan that tell Mr. Truck Driver that if he is vegan, the vegan says if he stopped eating animals, his body would feel 85% better.
But
I don't eat animals.
He doesn't.
I don't eat meat at all.
Yeah.
No, you feel bad in that truck.
I don't eat meat at all, but I did indulge in a little food and cheese when I went home.
But I remember you telling me that if you saw how they treat I remember when we first started talking, you told me if you saw how they treat the animals in the food system, you wouldn't eat meat at all.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't. Like, I can't explain it, bro, but chicken, people can say what they want about pork. I don't give a shit. Chicken is some of the worst things you can, like, eat, bro. They really mess over the chickens, bro. I'm talking about they'll sit there and feed you chickens with diseases, man. Like, they don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. And Tyson, no matter what you do, Tyson on everything. If you Tyson on every meat product in the U.S., they don't just do chicken. People think it's just a chicken company. It's not. It's a meat company. Mm-hmm. They own the beef and everything. I mean,
I don't even want
bro, me hearing pigs holler and cows like make noise, bro. Those things are about to die. Like, you gotta hear that shit. you gotta hear it, man. It's too eerie. It's super eerie. You know, but I don't know, man. That's eerie to me because I'm like, okay, I've been waiting here for 5 hours. I see the truck that come in with the live animals on it that they gonna slaughter to put in my truck.
Boy. Yeah.
You were like, man, that's crazy. Like, you see a truck, oh, there go my load.
So you don't what's the word I was looking for? You don't transport the live animals at all.
No, I wouldn't do that at all. Like, all only people do that is a lot of country boys. They do that, and I don't know what's up with that, like, particular type of, but a lot of those dudes have problems, man. Like, and I ain't talking about problems like me. I'm talking about they be having drug problems. I don't know if it's the job or what. I'm like, man, I'm not doing that. You know, he truck driver, he was like, man, don't do that. He was like, man, I did that for like 10 years, man. He said I was coked out. So however they work them, they really like run those dudes, and they, you know, they just keep them moving. You know, I don't know, man, but I wouldn't want to do that. Like the animals, I'm not that damn cruel, and plus, you know, like I have no problem with people eat meat. People eat meat, they eat meat. Like I don't, you know, I don't have a problem with that. But I can't deal with that with how they do the animals. Like I can't deal, but I'm like, damn, man, I just brought 100 cows to get slaughtered, and I hear him in the back, like trying to fight to get out.
Like they know they about to get slaughtered. I think that's the biggest thing is that, you know, when they're getting slaughtered, it's like they take them through like an assembly line. So just think about the fear and all the stuff that's going on in their body, and then we're gonna eat that.
Yeah.
That's like
the ribs may taste good, but good grief.
The pain and the suffering.
Boy, that's a whole nother. Yeah, that's what I don't want to eat. That stuff right there, and like what you say about Tyson Food, yeah, Tyson Food's a whole nother different. That's a whole nother ball game. They own everything.
Let me think. Better yet, I'm gonna post the videos I have on Instagram. How it is. You some of the towns you go through, like the little small towns, bro. Even some of the interstates, bro. It's so many cows, bro. Like. It's so many cows, bro. It's like you driving through just a small town of cows. That's how many it is on the interstate. Like off of the interstate and stuff, bro. It's acres of cows. And like Wyoming, it's like going through Wyoming, you see it. Going through like Nebraska, you see it. It's different places you see it, and it's like this massive amounts of cows, and it's like, damn, they about to get killed. You go through like Dodge City, like, man, it's just a lot of cows, and the whole town smell like something ungrateful. And that's just it. Like, they be, you know, it's like that's regular. But I'm like, man, y'all don't smell like, nah, man, we used to this. Bro, it smells so bad. It smells so bad, but now I'm getting used to it.
Oh man, I remember I went to visit someone who lived near a farm, and the farm had they were having a barbecue, and the farm had just sprayed like fertilizer, which is basically like pig shit, all over the farm, and like so there was flies like everywhere, like everywhere. It was ridiculous. It was just like it was almost kind of like, okay, are we like like is this like a plague or something? Like I've never seen so many flies in one area at one time, you know. It was like, yeah, ruined their barbecue totally. Embarrassing, you know.
Oh, that don't ruin these people barbecue out here. They be outside talking about, yeah, just took a bath and all that. I'm like, man, I wonder how they shower water smell. Because the whole town smell like this.
Yeah, fuck. It's crazy.
If I can record a smell, or if they had smell-o-vision, or y'all, I'm talking about dead bodies, bro. Like dead carcass. Like, man, that just stinks, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta wait there for 8 hours to get loaded.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And then I have to turn a fan on. I turn my air conditioner on. No more phone coming.
Yeah, the funk just falls on you. Oh shit, bro. I don't know. I don't wish that on anybody. Fuck. That's crazy.
I know,
shit.
like, I see all different type of forms. The only form they don't let you see is like the chicken. The chicken coops. I see the chicken, but I only see them after they load them in the cages and load them on the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Those chickens are yellow. They yellow. They can't walk. And it's like they damn near about to die. And they keep them outside in the cage, still bunched up. And what they do is they pull them forward, like you go through this little it's like it has a ceiling on it, but it's outside, and you pull it through, and it's like fans blow. It's these big fans that just blow on a chicken so they won't overheat.
Yeah.
And that's how they keep the chickens, like, until they getting ready to slaughter them. They keep them outside with just these fans blowing on them so they won't overheat. But the chickens are really dying at that point in time. They're really dying. Like, you can see it's like, damn, and chickens ain't got no life, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, they keep them alive as long as possible till they, you know, then they kill them, you know. But, you know, man, that's crazy. Like, I mean, I know people love chicken because I used to eat chicken. Good God, it tastes good. But it's just how they do it, man. Like, I feel like if you eat chicken or you eat anything, that's anything you eat, I feel like it's always a healthier way to do something. It's always, you know, if you eat meat, then eat it the healthiest way you can. You know, just because you eat meat don't mean you're not healthy, because you got a lot of people that eat meat that's healthy. You got a lot of people that don't eat meat that die every day. You got a lot of people that eat meat that die, but it's like, you can be healthy. I feel like if you have a balance of something, or if you just know how to take care of yourself, you know, you know, just, you know, if you eat meat, try to get the healthiest meat you can get, if that make any sense, you know. Don't get Popeye's chicken and Tyson products. Like, go to a local farm or somebody that deals with, you know, a small amount of animals and stuff. So,
Oh, the taste is so different. Like, I remember going to Costa Rica and tasting the fried chicken there, and it was like night and day compared to the chicken that you would eat in North America. Even the chicken in the St. Lucia is different than.
It's soft too.
Yeah, more flavorful and soft and bigger pieces. That's what I found. The chicken was pretty big. Like, it looked like they grew it like properly, you know.
Yeah, that was chicken was the last piece of meat I didn't taste, and that was like and that was a long time ago. But I tried to eat some chicken, and you know, it just didn't. My body didn't react to it like it used to. So I was like, yeah, I'm not eating meat no more, because I was in the hospital the next morning.
What kind of reaction did you have from eating the just a little bit of meat?
And this was after I came from the Bahamas, so I was fasting and everything. When I ate the chicken, which it was delicious now, but I ate the chicken, and the next morning, bro, like, it felt like my back and my stomach was caving in.
Oh,
and I had to take short breaths because it felt like I was getting stabbed in my back. Like, as soon as I got out of bed, as soon as I got up, I felt that. You know, and I couldn't walk because I was scared to move. Like, that's how much pain I was in. I just went straight to the hospital that morning and stayed there, like, for a long time. I was in the hospital for a minute. Not, like, days. I'm talking about, like, hours of, of that day. And they just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And, I was trying to tell them, I was like, nah, I ate some chicken. Like, they didn't understand me. I was like, nah, it's a chicken I ate. I'm like, it had me feeling like sick. It's like cramps, like I'm cramping everywhere. And,
well, it's because you're
like
not
I was
eating meat.
pale. Like, if you see my skin, I'm a brown dude. I'm a dark dude. My skin started looking gray. And you couldn't see the veins. They still stick me with the IV everywhere. They just couldn't find the vein. Like, I was taking my clothes off and I was getting hot because they kept sticking me with that needle. And, like, I have a problem with needles. So, like, I was about to pass out. And when I was getting ready to leave, I passed out anyway. Like, last thing I remember was asking for a cup of water. And the woman was carrying me back in bed.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, that was like the last time I ate meat. I'm like, nah, I'm not dealing with that. Like, that scared me so damn much. Like, that scared me bad. Like, I was scared as hell. So I was like, nope, no chicken or meat for me.
Yeah, that's a heavy reaction. But I guess because your body's so used to not having it to have it, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like so foreign,
Yeah.
It's like that, seriously. But I've been trying, well, I've been pretty good at it, but I've been like trying to eat less meat and more vegetables and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. One, everybody in my family is very like pro carnivore, and so it's not easy, But I think if I had more recipes to cook more vegetables, or I would probably have more of it in a diet.
Yeah, and like that's like me too. Like, a lot of my family, eat a lot of meat, which a lot of people eat meat. More people, But then I used to cook, so like that, bro. I used to go to work every day and eat a whole ribeye, like eat a ribeye steak. I turn around and get a fillet, eat the fillet, make me a waffle, and I have steak and waffles, not chicken and waffles. I steak and waffles, elegant shit. Nah, just playing, but the steak and waffles, I eat that every day, bro. Going to work.
Oh shit!
And like during that time, like I was young, like this all I was eating. I'm like, man, I gotta gain weight. I'm trying to get swole and stuff like that. But eventually I stopped doing that. But like it took me a while to start eating meat, like really like get off. But when I got off it, I went cold turkey, like just off it, like I'm not messing with it no more. But it's still kind of hard as far as like cheese. I don't like to be around cheese, because that's something that I have like a craving for. It's certain cheeses. Like, I don't like to be around Gouda cheese. I don't like to be around feta cheese. I don't like Gouda because of the smoke flavor. I used to smoke a lot of, I used to smoke, a lot of stuff I cook. So when I smell smoke flavor, that's something I want.
Yeah, I know. I love that smoky flavor. My brother is like big into barbecue smoking, so it's like I know what you're talking about when you have the smoke flavor. It's like, oh my gosh. He actually does. He smokes bacon. Trying to start a business smoking bacon right now. I know.
Man, boy, I made some of the most unhealthiest stuff ever. I made a butter bacon vinaigrette for salad.
A butter bacon what?
A butter bacon vinaigrette for a salad at a restaurant.
Oh shit. Butter and bacon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Ugh.
I love bacon. Bacon's like my fucking like I love bacon. And so my brother, he makes the homemade bacon. So he makes it like all my bacon fresh. And it's doesn't have a lot of the nitrates and all that harmful shit. But like I get it thick slice. Oh yeah. Mm. I also like pork belly, which is
Man,
essentially bacon.
I just bought a pork belly for my dog.
Yeah.
I went to Whole Foods, got a pork belly. I didn't give it to him raw.
Uh-huh.
He does eat raw now, but I cooked the pork belly for him. You know, I kept the fat for him because
The
I
fat's
mix
good.
the pork fats on the stuff that he eats.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I'm giving him sea moss, I mix the pork fat with the sea moss and give it to the dog. People are like, oh, you giving the dog? The dog's supposed to eat fat.
Yeah.
You know, but I try to feed him how an animal's supposed to, you know, eat. But I gave him the belly fat for a treat.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the fat's good for them. They need that in their diets. You know what I mean? For their shit to function right and everything. But you're spoiling your dog with pork belly. Like fuck.
See the stuff I got for him. Man, he got pig nose and everything.
Yeah.
Pig snouts.
Oh, I remember as a kid, Christmas. You just brought up this like memory when you talked about pig snout and stuff. We used to have this thing called souse that we would have. They'd serve at breakfast, which is like pickled pig's feet. Yeah, I know. Like the shit that people eat, man. My family would go crazy over this shit.
Pig feet, pig tail. They eat that down here too.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. This stuff was like it was like in a big bowl with like this juice and cucumbers and onions and stuff like that, and like everybody, all the adults in my family would just fucking go berserk over it. Oh, look, there's my cousin right there, Sharon Dixon. She's like, that's good stuff. Because every Christmas, bro, we would have these and it would dominate the table. So imagine, like, I have a big family, right? So at Christmas for breakfast, we'd have about 60 people show up. So imagine for 60 people, there's like 4 bowls of this pickles pig's feet, 4 giant bowls, and then there's one small bowl of like eggs and stuff. So as a kid, I remember like always like that was one situation where when it came to like eating at the when you get in line for the buffet, I always made sure I was first in line. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you wouldn't get the eggs. And then one year, I think I was like 16 or 17. I was like, screw this. I'm done not having eggs for Christmas. And I invested and brought like 4 dozen of eggs. And it like the whole family, it like blew everybody's mind. Like it was just like, what? There's more eggs this year? And then it was like a competition every year. Everybody started bringing eggs, and I was like, "Fuck you guys! Like, what the fuck?" That was my thing. You know what I mean? Because everybody's like, "Oh, look, Julien brought eggs! Hey, hey!" But I honestly, bro, I have like the best family like in the world. And if there's one thing I miss with the quiches, my Auntie Brenda would bring these quiches. The one thing I miss about Christmas and the holidays this year and last year, it's almost like to me, it's like fuck Christmas is because I didn't get together with my family to spend time and do the Christmas thing that we used to do like every year growing up. You know what I mean? Like it's just That's the one thing. If I had to say, like, fuck you, COVID, is that I haven't been able to have that togetherness. Yeah, sure. Like, there's something about being around the family all day long, and, like, you know what I mean, meeting for breakfast and Christmas and seeing people you haven't seen in like a whole year. Like, that was the one time I got to see like all my aunts, all my uncles, all my cousins.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit, I wish my family could get together like that.
Oh yeah,
I know, right?
No, it's unique, and it's rare, like the way our family was, you know. And they're all Grenadians. That's, I guess, what makes them cool, you know. I have to say that, you know what I mean, because everybody thinks I'm all pro St. Lucia, but you know. And the one thing I love about my family, it's like, we don't need to call each other to kind of say, hey, like, I love you or whatever. It's like when something happens and you need that person there, it's like there's not a quite, like, there's no discussion about it, you know what I mean? It's like we pull together when it matters, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need to do all that kind of fucking frilly fake bullshit, you know what I mean? So, like, it's a real family, and I feel like a lot of who I am as a person has a lot to do with those experiences in life that I had at, like, my grandma's house, and being around all my, like, aunts and uncles and stuff like that, who have been there to always just try to, you know, like, non-judgmental, always, like, just supporting each other, and, you know, being what family's supposed to be, you know, there for each other. So, look, she comes and listens to watch me talk on the live stream. You know what I mean? How can you say that's not love? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
How many of your families are coming on your live streams and watching you guys do
For real. Not a lot can say that.
Hell no, that's why I'm doing it, because I thought about it. I was like, I wonder how many people, like, you know what I mean? But that's, like, you know, even my aunt, yeah, like I didn't even know she did it. She just ordered Seamoss. Like, you know, when you see the order and you're like, what the fuck, this is my aunt, you know what I mean? And you check it out, and she's like, oh yeah, I ordered some Seamoss. Your mom gave me the website and blah blah blah. And she was taking it and using it on her hair for alopecia. She was eating it and putting it, and she said the purple really helped with growing her hair back. Yeah. And I didn't even have to give her a discount. That's love. I think you guys missed that. I said I didn't have to give her a discount on the sale, so I was like, that's love right there. That's how you know your family loves you. So they buy off you, and they don't even ask you for a discount on the product beforehand. Yeah. Yes, no, our family's always there to support each other, and, like, you know, look after each other and shit like that. Like, I even have my cousin working with me at the warehouse, you know.
That's good.
Yeah, he's the only one I would hire.
I don't know if I hire him, my family. I hire him after I'm, they're gonna be telling me all the time, I ain't got to listen to you. I'm older than you.
Too negative.
Yeah, like I can't work about me. It's gonna be too much stuff.
Yeah, listen, my cousin does more talking than he does actually working, you know. But I told him I couldn't pay him full price because he talks too much.
Oh, that cousin.
Well, no, it's true. I was like, bro, if you talked half as much, I'd probably pay you way more. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, what do you mean? I mean, like, you every 2 minutes you stop to, like, tell me some story about something that I have no interest in knowing at all. but I love him, and so I'll always listen to him, and I don't know. I have a very special family, that's for sure. Yeah, yeah. I'm blessed to have the family that I have. I would not replace any, and I'm not just saying this because one of my cousins listening on the live stream. I wouldn't really replace any one of them. Seriously, like there's not a single cousin that I or family member where I'm just like, ugh, I don't like that person. You know what I mean? Like I like them all. You know? Yeah, and I'm blessed to have that. That all of them are cool. Although some of them, you know what I mean, they'll embarrass you or call you out on stuff. Like Sharon, this one she's the notorious for just calling everybody out for what it is, and you know what I mean? It's like if there's something embarrassing to say, she's gonna bring it up in front of everybody. So it's like, but that's part of the family, the love. Yeah, she's laughing because she knows it's true. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go over to Pennsylvania. I know it's freezing.
Where are you now, Yusuf?
Oh, I'm in Alabama right now. Dodge something. I don't know. Let me see.
Good old Alabama.
Dodge City, Dodge City, Alabama.
Nice name for a city.
Yeah, there's other Dodge are usually in Dodge. Where's Dodge in Kansas? I think other Dodge I go is in Kansas.
What's the
That's the smelly one. Yeah, Dodge City, Kansas. That's the smelly one.
what's the city that the Simpsons are in? That they're in every town.
They're in not Springfield.
Yes, no, it's Springfield. But you don't know what Springfield state it is because there's like a Springfield in every state or something like that.
No, what is it? Is it the Simpsons in Springfield?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, it's in Springfield because they're always talking about going to Capital City, and they're in the Springfield. Yeah, Springfield, and they never tell you what it is.
Guys in Quahog or something.
Yeah, that's the Family Guy, Quagmire, or is Quagmire the name of the guy? Hang on, Simpson.
Quahog.
Oh, it is Quahog. Okay, I don't watch Family Guys that much.
Yeah,
I don't either.
So Simpsons is in Springfield.
It says Springfield in Simpsons was based on a town in Oregon all along the way. Yeah, it's Springfield, Oregon. Have you ever watched how they say he's like a time traveler? The creator of the Simpsons.
He got to be a time traveler. What he be coming up with?
Well, at the same time, it's like it makes me wonder: do people just happen to watch The Simpsons and subconsciously reenact things that have happened before? It's almost like can you manifest things through your thoughts? You know what I mean? And are these just not so much time traveling, but manifestations?
It's just groups of people that go to places to make the stuff happen.
Mm, it's possible. I don't know.
They members.
But that would be pretty crazy if there was time travel, and this guy was like went back in time to become a cartoonist and fuck with everybody. He's like, I'm just gonna troll everybody with messages in all my cartoons and stuff. Yeah. Crazy. So you know what I've been doing lately? I started advertising on Google AdWords. Yeah, I've actually been, it's pretty interesting how it is. I got to start learning more on how to do it. But so far, since I've been, actually, the date's wrong. Let's see what I've been doing it for 2 weeks now. Let's see what the 2 weeks ad spend is. Wow, it is kind of a little bit high, but
Yeah, it is.
yeah, well, and that's the thing. I think I got to spend more time to understand the audiences so that I can directly be more direct at it.
Yeah,
But I'll share my screen here. So far, I spent $372. I got $325 clicks, but I got 165 conversions, and each conversion was $2.25. Now I got to go back and see what they record as a conversion. Is that if that's actually like a sale or what that means? You know what I mean? Because at the same time, if it costs me $2.25 to get a sale, and the average sale I get is say even $50 or 25, I'll fucking pay that all day long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what's $2.25 to make sure that I get a $50 sale? I'll spend $500 a day. You know what I mean? To get what $500 a day would get 250 sales. 250 sales times $50 this sale. Fuck, that's 12,500. You know what I mean? And if your margin's like even 50%, that's 6,000, and that's just at $500 a day. Because that's what, $165 of conversions. 165 of conversion times 50. Actually, it's a little bit less. Well, that's only 375. Sorry, I don't mean to mumble here. I got my calculator out, and sometimes I get like that. I get into what you call it,
Yeah, what's called on either.
doing the numbers and stuff. So Sharon says this is a lot, but honestly, this is really not a lot if depending on the sale. Like here, they're saying I got 7 conversions from my. I'm looking at my Google AdWords account, and so I ran a video campaign here, and it was basically the video ad about uh, why there's salt on the sea moss. And
Yeah, that's
so
a good one too. I was hoping that you was gonna put that. I would actually put that as, where you should run that.
where?
You should run that actually, YouTube.
Well, that's where I'm running it right here. Is a YouTube pre-roll ad. At least I think I am. This is
Yeah,
the.
I would run that in YouTube. Just like anybody that actually Google CMOS and they actually start looking up CMOS videos, run it in those videos. See if you
Yeah.
can run it in those videos.
It looks like my conversion rate is pretty low. It's like 0.35. So I have to figure out, maybe the video might even be too long to get people to actually convert. But out of
Now,
it,
it's
right?
all about the ROAS. Look at the
Yeah,
ROAS.
that's what I got to figure out is how much on this thing, how much money it actually returned based on the sales. But it looks like my cost to conversion was $29.
And you know what? Be truthful. That's like a lot of times. That's actually how it starts off to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you got like you. Hopefully, you can get it down a little bit more. But yeah, like that's usually how it is. And like okay, so my biggest thing now is that how I look at these certain things is, it's really hard with CMOS and ads.
it's really hard. Like you're spending a ton of money. Like most of the, and just me talking to a lot of gel companies, most those companies kind of either you're a hit and miss. Like you're gonna run ads, and you're probably gonna lose a lot of money before you start making money. And that's the biggest thing. Is like a lot of people, I don't know if I'm willing to lose all that money to make some money.
Yeah.
Just to get at the top of the leaderboard on certain things, like certain things now that you look up, like with Google, if you have a good SEO as far as on your website, they're gonna find you regardless.
That's true.
The ads are just, me personally, when I actually Google, I never really click on the ads. I click on the shopping at the top, and then I go and see the real, like, who's number one on the board as far as website wise. And so I'll go there, but I never really click on the ads.
That's funny you say that, because I was about to say that. I almost intentionally don't spend money on the ads. I'll look for someone in the actual search results before I click on the ads and cost them money and stuff.
Now,
I'm not everybody, right? So
yeah, but I actually what I do, I actually look at the shopping at the top though. I'll scroll through that. So if I look up Seamoss bulk, and I'll see a whole bunch of shopping that you can click at the top, I'll scroll through those. But I don't never pay for the ads. I don't know. That's just me. I thought it was just me. But now that you say the exact same thing, yeah, I don't never do the paid ads. I go past those. I'm trying to get number one on SEO. Like I think that's more important. And it's what I'm finding is probably a little bit easier, because you can actually pay to get just like SEO work done to your website, blogs and things of that nature, and pay monthly for that and get higher on Google, just Google search, than doing Google ads. I don't know. I guess it's just the route that you want to take. I'm like, me and ads are kind of, I don't know, like, I think ads work after you go viral. Like, that's one thing about it, is that I think they work after you go viral.
Well, I do agree that in the sense that, like, you have to be at a certain level before you're ready to put your ads out, because what I find happens is that with these ads, your site has to be a certain sort of like, you have to have a certain amount of reviews, a certain quality of photos, a certain layout, a certain of all this stuff, so that when the person comes in there, like, everything hits. Like, even with my site, I think that there's things that I could use or improve that would increase the conversion ratio, so that I would have to spend less people on the site in order for them to make a sale. You know what I mean?
So this is, I think, what the biggest thing, especially with a lot of the people that are actually in the Seamoss industry, is that a lot of these people aren't coming from a marketing and advertising background, or they never really sold anything online. They're not really e-commerce. Like, so if you actually take somebody that used to do drop shipping and knows layouts of websites and things of that nature, they come in and they clean up, because it's really all about, like, Seamoss is really all about perception. And as long as you get the perception into the right people's face, then they buy it. And then you hook them with emails and things of that nature and subscriptions. And so it's hard for those people to look anyplace else, because they're so, like, you done hook them. And so now you have a whole bunch of people that have already been hooked. unless you give them something that's different than what they have right now. That's what I see in, boy, you know, because I I watched the powder and the capsule game, and I'm, we talk about it. We at a disadvantage right now.
Yeah.
Like we just at a disadvantage. We at a disadvantage because like our packaging is not going to be better than what they're coming out with.
Yeah.
Because they got these companies got everything just right there firsthand, just sitting there. Just, this is what they've been doing. They've been doing drop shipping, and they've been selling capsules and things of that nature. And even Seamoss, they've been selling Seamoss for years.
Mm-hmm.
They've been waiting. So, but I think we figuring it out. That's all.
No, like we talked before, I think we
Yeah.
just need to create more opportunities for more people to trust each other, to want to work together, to kind of like, you know what I mean?
More collaboration, really.
Yeah, collaborate together so that like we create, and hopefully more people will keep it on, like, let's keep it in the Black group or the community, you know what I mean, to support these different guys and get them, you know what I mean, like you said, like you're investing all this work in powder and stuff. You should be almost the kind of guy that everybody kind of seeks for powder, or someone else that's doing that has a good source on Condor's Crispus. Like we all try to work together to buy one load
and
of
have one source for Conjures Crispus and keep it in the community. Yeah, I think definitely from what we talked about earlier that is coming. I think once we start speaking on it, and then people start understanding and just understanding the chain. Like once I understand the structure, like I'm all for the structure of it. So once I understand that there's a structure that's being formed and I can fit into a structure, oh man.
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking, like I was saying to you earlier, is that if we can form some kind of club or some kind of association where everybody can pool their sort of like certain things that we all need together, that we pool together to save it on a bulk rate, like having a marketing company that does all the marketing for you. You know what I mean? And then we
Yeah.
have someone else. And I mean, like I said, was saying to you, I have friends that can produce music, that we can get royalty free music that everybody can use to, put out their ads and stuff like that. And he can make songs that look and sound exactly like the tune, but you could say, no, change this slightly, or do we use these keys instead of these, like instruments, and that's what makes the song different, and blah, blah, blah,
You know what? And then come out with we need to come out with mocks.
Mm-hmm.
So people can have mocks, and it's easier for them to create marketing and advertising stuff because we can mock them real quick. We can actually have bags of Seamoss that only thing we have is the bag, and the only thing you have to do is put your label on the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Quick mocks. Yeah, all the advertising stuff that you typically need.
And you can go to like one person that makes bags and then say to them, okay, we all know that this is the size bags that we all need. We're going to have this many people come to you in the next year and buy, all their bags from you.
You know what? I wonder if because I know a lot of people want to go to laminated bags, but they just don't want to go all the way over to China to get their laminated bags done.
Yeah.
So if we could all find a company in the United States that does laminated bags, and I know there's a few of them now just because marijuana is legal, and so they're already making the little pouches. So as long as we can actually convince them to make bigger pouches, and not charge a crazy amount to make the bigger pouches. We probably can find somebody that would switch over. Reason why is because that market is saturated, and so if you can create a different bag and have a different market and make a lot more money, we need one of them. Definitely.
And I think there's ways to even introduce things more where, you know, these people are getting custom made packaging or, you know, flyers inside their cars. Like, you remember you were talking before about how like these guys are kind of like underselling the CMOS or not pricing it right. Well, part of it is they got to show more of these values. But these guys, like, it's hard to get someone to even find a company that makes boxes, let alone someone that makes boxes that understands your need. But if we have one guy, like even just a rep at one of these companies, where we're like, okay, this is the standard box size that everybody's using because they all use the same 500 milliliter mason jar. So when you come and talk to this person, you're going to know that this is just like you were saying with the guy who does the CMOS labels. He knows what stuff needs to go on the label. He knows what needs to go. He can tell you, no, that won't work. What? Sorry?
I was just saying that's what I need.
Yeah. Now imagine there's a guy that everybody goes to that does the labels, and because everybody's going to him, you know what I mean? We're collectively paying them maybe 10,000 for the year to be this guy that makes labels for us.
Yeah, only thing he does is, and after a while, really his job is simple because after a while, the only thing he has to do is drag and drop. Because really that's my guy's job is simple now. Like he knows where everything's supposed to go. Like only thing you have to do is like even what you even have to put on your, like he'll tell you, oh, you might want to put this on there. You might want to put this on there. Like there's certain things that you won't even have to say, and he's gonna put them on there regardless because he knows that's what you have to do.
Well, the way I look at it, right? I model it after with my brokerage where I work as a real estate. Like, dude, I don't I don't do shit in my job. Like really as an agent, I don't write my own offers. I don't load the stuff on the MLS. I don't like do anything. All I do is make a phone call. I write an email. You know what I mean? And I tell the office to prepare the offer, to prepare the documents, and they'll send it with all my names on and stuff. And it's because our office has a team of like I think 1,500 agents, and we're all paying a membership fee. So we even have an in-house graphics designers. There's like 8 of them or something like that. So anytime I need any documents done, any flyers, any brochures, anything, I can just email them. They even have my file, like shit on file, and all the like my graphics and everything that I need, and they could whip something up together. But it's got to be related to this. Do you know what I mean? To real estate. So imagine everybody pitches into this membership, and we have a guy that's an expert on insurance, a guy that's an expert on graphics and design and say music, even putting together videos, like get them to put up mock-ups and you know what I mean?
Even an LLC person, somebody that actually corporates you, make sure that you have all your paperwork right.
Exactly. An in-house lawyer, a guy whose job is just to run paperwork.
And compliance, a compliance person.
Yeah.
It's really what you want, a compliance person, a person that doesn't care about anything but long that everybody's under compliance.
Yeah. And you can go to them and call them up and say, hey, what do I do? This and that. And you don't even have to pay the guy a full-time wage because honestly, like even if there was 1,000 members, how many people are calling the compliance guy every day? Not a lot. Do you know what I mean? He might get 10 calls in a month or so because there's how many people have compliance problems.
Well, the thing is, and this is the thing about it is, like, it's even better when you find somebody that's in the circle already.
Yeah.
That, okay, so this is my job. I want to do compliance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you do it. All right. So we'll have you work out compliance.
Yeah.
Right? And then so people are like, okay, well, I can fit in right here. this is what I like to do. And so what you end up having is you're not even having to find somebody outside. You'll find somebody inside that actually they do CMOS, but they were actually doing something before CMOS. Now they're just into CMOS, and
but they have that experience and that knowledge.
exactly, so they fit into the puzzle in that route.
Yeah.
Easier for us to say, okay, so if like, especially all like, there's some people that are definitely into the Food and Drug and Health Administration. So you a lot of people that come from that route. You find somebody like that, you put them into the club, make sure they get everything that they need as far as CMOS wise, and now their business is growing, and they just help your business out as well. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And
that's the whole idea of making the club, is like, how do you put it together so that it's a win-win for everybody that becomes joining that club. It's almost like it's going to be a no-brainer. Like, anybody that wants to get, anywhere in business is going to say, well, it's just easier to join this club and have them, what I mean, handle all my logistic back-end stuff. Dude, we can even get guys to come in and redesign your website. You know what I mean?
well, the biggest thing is going to end up acting as a corporation, in a so to speak. So what it's almost to the point where it's like when you first get in. So say you get in and you're already into CMOS, but you're trying to get into the club, but you can actually buy shares.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're doing a job, a job entitles you certain shares.
Mm-hmm.
So you may end up buying certain shares into the club. However, you're actually doing a job, so you're getting additional shares. So this job gives you shares,
Mm-hmm.
and as you build, and as the business builds, then you know that your shares even become more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because of the work that you're putting in. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
If we do it in as far as that notion, and knowing that, okay, so in a couple years from now, this could be a situation where we can actually go public with this company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is something that my accountant was talking to me about a long time ago. She was like, okay, how big do you want it to be? If you want to think of it that way, then like you can actually get people to start getting shares before you actually go public. Start doing certain things behind the scenes, and then once you go public, then that's when everything goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, like, and it's
Yeah.
not hard to, because once you actually get the foundation of the corporation and you get every piece in place, then it's just, okay, so how quick do we get it to go?
Yeah.
And
And
then
execution.
it becomes more than CMOS after that, though. So it's just not regular CMOS. Like, there'll be products that just keeps on coming and keeps on coming and keeps on coming and keeps on coming, and then you start finding all these other, like, what happens is somebody comes out with a CMOS company and we like it, and guess what we do? We partner with them,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps on going, and so now it's bigger, and it just keeps on getting bigger to the point where, yeah, you have to go public with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if people want to sell off their shares at that time and make
Yeah.
some extra money, then they can. Or if you just want to hold on to your shares,
Yeah. You could cash in on the work that the contribution that you've put in and stuff. I've always thought, yeah, to set it up, some of it has to be somewhat like in the power of the people or the power of the control. And I'd have to have some kind of board member where, not only the membership has a voice, but even the CMOS people, the buyer, the sellers that the group would buy from and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it would also almost have to have sort of like, you couldn't have it so like only the sellers from, say, St. Lucia can sell to the group. Like, everybody has to, as long as they fit a certain criteria, a way of doing business, then you know what I mean. It's like you're more of a an approved vendor, or this is someone that we trust.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like an application. Okay, so you meet the criteria. You're already doing this. Yeah, and yeah, knowing that you can produce monthly, and even and most of the time is one of those situations where even being in the club is more of are you here for the long haul? Because it's not going to be a get rich quick situation. It's going to be we're building and we're building and we're building, and you'll see rewards throughout the building process, but the bulk of the rewards comes to when it's almost where it's functioning on its own.
Oh, yeah.
So once it starts functioning on its own, it's like, like that's my whole thing. I love to build something to the point where it's like, okay, it runs without me.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the ultimate sort of like success, is to build something where it sort of is self-perpetuating and it just keeps going, where you could walk away from it and it will continue to operate like how it should be.
Yeah. So I see it happening. I'm not sure how many people need. That would be the main thing I'm kind of looking at is, okay, so what's the output of people that would come into this situation?
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the challenges I'm having is like, okay, how many members do I really foresee joining this group and being a part of it? Because you can have all these fancy stuff, but it's almost like if you don't meet a certain minimum amount of members, then you're not really going to have enough to really afford to do all these like, wonderful bonuses and benefits and stuff like that, So it's almost like the group might not get off the ground because we can't get enough people going at the beginning to trust the process to get it to where it's needs to go before it becomes really successful.
Yeah. Do you think it's more of kind of showing the structure of how it's going to operate and getting that down, and then once you show how it's going to operate and then start to operate in that fashion, I think that probably be the key. Is having a structure on, okay, this is how everything is going to operate. This is the reason why it's going to work. And then once you see the operation from point A to point Z, and then you see us operating in that manner, you see it starting to go. Mostly what happens is people don't like, there's a fear of missing out.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what will end up happening, that fear of missing out, because knowing that there's a structure and you have a collective that are willing to operate in that structure, then it's going to work.
Yeah, and that's where I think key too is, and I was thinking this the whole time you were talking, is like, as we're putting these ideas together, it's important to get the right people involved to help shape the idea, so that they're on board with the idea, so that they can create that fear. Because if no one's really on board, then who cares if you're missing out? But if I see Ricky's there, this guy's there, that guy is like, oh fuck, I was like, wait, I need to be there.
Like, okay, so when did this happen? So once you start seeing a collective that's really pushing this forward, it's gonna be one of those situations where you're gonna want to say, okay, I kind of get it now. I understand what's going on. I want to be a part of that.
And the thing I see is that a lot of these new people, new to the business, new to the industry, they're all going through the same problems. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like you need to come up with a service that like kind of solves all these problems for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's coming in like, okay, who do I trust?
Yeah.
And then if you see a whole group over here I'm likely gonna trust the group.
Yeah. And if these groups is like, look, we have the bags that you need, we have the designer that you need. Here's a guy that can help you, run your Facebook ads. Here's a guy that can, create your marketing material. Or, every week we're doing this group discussion where you can come in and we'll discuss how to do marketing material. And that's the thing too, is like when you have a big enough organization, you can hire someone to come in and speak and give you like, someone from like Facebook to give a one-on-one, or a group like webinar, you know what I mean? I know this, at one point I had a dedicated Facebook manager that called me once a week to go over what my ad spends were, how I was spending my ads, the strategies I was using to create audiences and stuff like that. You know what I mean? What's to stop them from coming in and teaching a group of 100 different sellers that are planning to use Facebook ads?
No, trust me. When if we're generating likes, if we're generating a buzz, then they're gonna come and they're going to figure out how they can optimize the amount of money that we're gonna spend. Like that's their job, is for us to spend as much money as we can and make as much money, because the more money we spend on their platform, the better for their platform. So a lot of times is that they're looking for the companies to say, okay, yeah, we're gonna get behind, and you'll see it because they get behind companies and they push companies that typically use their platform even more. Like the more money you put into their platform, the more money they're gonna push behind you, and you end up getting a return on your investment. It's just, do you want to play the game? And are you like, that's the biggest thing, is as far as with when we come up with this club, it's going to be more of a situation is, all right, so how do we all get on Facebook, and how do we all make money off Facebook ads? How do we all make money off of this? Like, where are you going to be at? Where are you going to be at? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be the key thing to it, because you may have 20 people, and with the 20 people, it's all deciding, okay, so where you advertising at? And be like, I'm advertising over here. Where you advertising at? Well, I'm advertising over here. Well, where? Oh, and that ends up being the end goal. Unless, see, I'm always for, we only need to have a few brands. Like, I don't need my brand. You get what I'm saying? So if there was just one brand and it's like, okay, and it's almost all comes under the same umbrella, under a brand, then it's okay. Like, I don't need to have a Seamoss brand. Like, I can brand myself as far as just being, like, I actually already have it, but like just health and wellness. And I carry this brand of Seamoss products.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? So it's really kind of nurturing. Like, so say, even I was speaking about the guy that actually has the lion's mane. He has the mushrooms. So say he has the mushroom line, but he wants to carry Seamoss products as well. And so instead of having 20 different brands of Seamoss products, you have one brand.
Yeah.
And everything comes under this one brand. Even though you have 20 different owners, all these products are coming under one brand. And this owner owns 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 this, but it's still under one brand.
Yeah, one label kind of thing.
Exactly. It's like one label. It's we can put this label in any store that we want to. This is just one label and that's it. This is the brand, and we stick with this brand, and this is the brand that goes, and everybody has this. This is the price of this brand. The only thing you gotta do is sell it.
Yeah.
This is the price of, like, we come out with every product, and the only thing you gotta do is we price it out, and the only thing you gotta do is go sell it, advertise it, boom, put it here, and at that point, what happens is that, so say, and just like we always do is, say we got somebody that's in California. Like if I'm in Atlanta, you're in Toronto, they're in California, and somebody actually buys something from Las Vegas.
Yeah, make sure to send it over to him and then try and do the same.
Yeah, so it ends up being that person's sale. It's like, okay, well, it's gonna go to the person in California, because it ends up like we have different warehouses in different spots. All these products, we have all these products, and we just have different hubs in different spots. And so it's, even though you're in Los Angeles, you still make money when somebody buys something in New York.
Yeah, even though it's not directly coming from you.
Yeah, because you still have your product over there. Like your product is still over there. So say, all right. So say the you call it umbrella company.
Yeah.
Say the umbrella company, and umbrella company pretty much buys into all these other small companies. So I own Ricky Ray's Gold Sea Moss. Umbrella company comes in and says, okay, I'm gonna buy 45%, you keep 55%. And the umbrella company buys all these others, so it really almost acts as, and so the 45% goes almost into a pot for all the management, all these other people that you gotta pay off, everything else like that, and 55% goes to the cost of somebody that has to live because they're still a business owner.
You know, that it's funny you're just saying this. An idea that's just coming into my head is, suppose as part of the association, you have like almost like a distributor's list of products. So it's like I join the association, and it's kind of like I don't need to come out with my own gummy line. I just like join the association. I pay my members fee, and I get access to a whole chart of products.
Exactly.
And all the people that are selling the products on those charts are actually members in the association
Now
too.
you're starting to understand. So that's what you end up having. So now you have gummies. You have different gummies. So then what it is the people in the association are like, okay, well, I'm about to come out with a serum. And so now you have a whole line of serum, and I'm about to come out with a dip. And now you have a whole line.
You have a market to sell to.
Exactly. And then you already have a market to sell to, and it's pretty much easy for people to start stores.
Yeah, and the association can be like, okay, look, you have a product, meet with us. Let's check out your product. Let's see what it needs, and then we push the product to the. See, but it comes down to getting enough. Huh?
Be like chocolate.
Well,
be all one name, like chocolate, that company that sells like the soaps, the vitamins.
Maybe.
Yeah, it would be under one name. It would be under one name. It's like, so what happens is you come up with a product. Everybody knows it's your product. Everybody knows it's still you, but you kind of partnered with this company. And now when you partner with this company, everybody knows you partnered with the company, and now you actually have your. It's almost like, okay, so you partner with this company. You actually start off, and you're still advertising your product, but now it has the name of the big company. You're still advertising it, but now instead of just advertising this one product that you just had, now you're advertising 50 products along with this one product. So
advertising each other products.
Yeah,
exactly.
Going to Walmart, everybody products is in it.
Yeah, but I think that in the beginning, everybody has to have their own individual products, But then as the group gets it, then we can build one brand that's sort of like everybody can white label their product through that brand. So it's almost like, you know what I mean, you're selling your brand. Like there's Ricky Ray's Gold Seamoss, but we have like International Health conglomerate whatever who sells Ricky Ray's thing under a like it's how like Costco sells Kirkland stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like imagine you could sell your product as your own product, but then you can also go to the group and say, okay, sell. Here's my product. Everybody likes my product. We're going to sell it as Kirkland product that everybody can buy wholesale and resell it under their store or whatever as this kind of brand name. Yeah, I think it's got to be both. You know what I mean?
Or you know what? I think you might be right. Where people keep their brands and we just
distribute
enhance their brands.
Yeah.
Like we just take their labels and that's the one thing about like once you get into the club is that your label becomes part of like we just download your label and we put it on everything like immediately.
Yeah, and we
So
can
we
sell
have
it
templates for all the products, and so now say that you come into the club and you say, okay, I want to sell this, and this. And you're like, okay, cool, boom. Label, packaging, everything done, and you're set.
Mm-hmm.
And your product becomes, and then your product, you see your product on 50 other people's labels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see it either on 50 other people's labels, like on their websites. Because one of the things I've been thinking about doing is taking other companies and putting their products on my site as I sell them. But like, you know, I keep their brand name, keep their thing, but it's more like advertising because I'm paying to have people come and visit the site. You know what I mean? And if they're not buying a product that I like, they might see a product that someone else has that, you know, I don't want to make or produce or whatever. And I, you know what I mean? I just put it on there and they order it and I get it from that person and I could either drop ship it or have some of the inventory on it.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, so the inventory on drop ship, that's something that's real good too. You just gotta get it running. Like once you get it running, you know, that's something real good because drop ship is really good, especially if like a place like St. Lucian, like you know, where you can get different products from different people that's local. Yeah, you can just drop ship it. Basically, you're doing that right now, somewhat. But it's not like drop shipping because you have the cocoa sticks,
sour.
You have the different.
Wait, by day we can
you know.
Yeah, the Bonbon Day.
I got all that stuff here, and that probably will sell more than anything. Like people realize what that does. Oh,
the Bonbon Day. He's talking about because he's had some of the Bonbon Day. You've tried it, eh? Yusuf, the Bonbon Day?
Yeah, I still got some.
Yeah, man, it's killer.
I need some more. I'm trying to make some.
I have to order some of them.
Yeah.
Nice. But see, this is how we could all kind of work together in a group like that, where one guy's bringing in that product, everybody else buys it. Yeah, man. I think it's gonna take a slow time to kind of put together, but when it does, it's gonna be really kind of like it's going to open up a lot of doors for people and it's going to help boost a lot of other people's business. And I think it's got to be created in a way where it's like everybody can kind of benefit as long as they have a certain level or criteria of good business. Like we can't just let anybody come in there and sell and do whatever they want. You know what I mean? It's like they have to have a certain energy about them in order for them to kind of get the benefits. Like the real benefits, you know what I'm saying? Or even just to be a member. Like I know one membership that I'm a part of for my B organization, I had to go to an interview and be interviewed by the membership committee, and they just don't let anybody on the group. And one of the biggest things that they focused on was my ability to connect and interact with people. Like that's what they cared about most, because they were kind of like, and they would ask you questions like, well, if someone, you disagree with someone, how are you going to handle it, or how do you respond if someone has this attitude, or and so they wanted a certain type of culture to join this organization, or else, you know what I mean, it was kind of like, no, we didn't know how, you're not fitting our vibe, you know what I mean, this is not part of our collective. So I think that's something too, that you can't just let anybody be a member, or you can let anybody be a member, but if you want to say sell your products and stuff, you have to go by a certain code of business to make sure that, you know what I mean, you're operating at a proper a level that's beneficial to everybody in the group, and you're not there to kind of exploit.
That's going to be the biggest thing, is that like as this group grows, you're going to have to be able to produce a certain amount of product just to even come into the group. That like that's going to be the criteria, is that you're going to have to start off with a certain amount of product, because if you get into a group where there's you got 20 major sellers, like you're going to go through products.
You
Like
got to
you're
be
going to go through products quick. And so it's going to be a situation where and not to mention you already got your own people, and now you done grouped up with, like that's a whole nother ball game. And it's almost even more of, okay, so explain to me your structural and how much, and you got to almost tell me how much are you producing per day, and do you have the structural to produce, as far as how much it's going to cost to actually, how much is going to be needed to even be in the club on a daily basis.
Yeah. Will it even make sense? Yeah, because if you're always selling out, and you can't supply to someone who needs it in order to stay in business, you could almost
Yeah,
unfit business.
exactly. Well, what happens is that in the club you won't be pulling your weight,
Yeah.
because now you still can still get products from somebody else that actually has their products, and you can still be selling them. However, it doesn't it like it still has to be a situation where because your product may be hitting good for somebody else.
Yeah.
And if that product is hitting good for somebody else, and now that's one of their staples, and now they can't create the money, but you can always make money off their product, then now that becomes a situation where it's almost like kind of like because this is gonna be like a co-op.
Yeah.
So to speak. So with it almost feeling like a co-op, it's almost you're gonna be asked to pull your weight. If there's 20 people and like, okay, I'm going through 20 bottles a day, and somebody else is going through 20 bottles a day, and somebody else is going through 20 bottles a day, are you going to be able to fulfill that order?
Yeah.
But that's where the group comes in, because if it's not a situation where you can fulfill the order, do we have a situation where we can help you fulfill the order so it works out for everybody? Is there a situation where we can actually appease to your structure or help your structure?
Everybody have warehouse space.
Sorry, Yusuf?
So you can do it. Everybody have warehouse space where everybody can work and make each product in one warehouse.
That's where it would go to.
That'll make it. I think that'll make it easy. Yeah, you'd have to do something like that where, everybody's like, there's certain like that's how we're doing in our bee collective, right? We manage a series of apiaries. There's like about 8 sites, but when it comes to the honey, like when we're harvesting, it's like everybody gets together and we put all the honey together and harvest it at one area. And part of your membership is you have to put in hours as a volunteer. And so there's times where I have to volunteer looking at the hives, times where I have to volunteer with the honey flow and stuff like that. Oh shit, that reminds me. I think I Maybe it's tomorrow. I think tonight might have been a B. I had a B meeting tonight. Shit. I just realized that, and I should let me just check quickly because it's going to be something that bothers me.
Yeah, I see it in your face too.
Yeah, no, because I'm like this year they put me on the board of directors, and one of the things is I have to help with the pardon. So yeah, I have to help with chairing the meetings, and so if I start not showing up at these meetings, it's not a good.
Yeah.
So yeah, tonight was the meeting,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
you
missed
missed
that.
that.
But you know what? I wouldn't have made it anyways because well, here's the thing too. I could have done it on my phone because it's all done by Zoom, but
Yeah.
I was busy working like putting together furniture. I just sold a house, and so the clients that I sold the house to, they now have to sell a condo and another house. So I'm selling. I got to sell two houses in the next week and a half, and I got
Yeah,
to
you did real estate too.
yeah, and I got to sell it for the highest price possible. So one of them needs to sell for 950, and the other one needs to sell for like over 600. So the condo has to sell for over 600, and the house needs to do 950. Yeah, because they bought a house for 1.5 million.
They bought.
Crazy, eh? But it was a beautiful house with a pool and like a big giant backyard, and you know what I mean. It's in this new neighborhood. It's in Ajax. That's what's crazy. This is an area where I remember 5 years ago, like a 350,000 was considered high for this neighborhood, and now they're selling houses 1.5 million. It's fucking insane. It's crazy. And they,
Well, people, I'm about to hit the sack. I'm falling asleep.
I know, me. I honestly, I was supposed to say 2 o'clock was my hard like cutoff, but it's 2:15. I should really not stay too late just because it ruins my day. And I know tomorrow I have to get up early to do showings, and I have to like I'm
Yeah. Okay, then I'm not gonna keep y'all then either.
yeah. Let's save it till next Sunday, and But you know what? This was a good conversation that we talked about doing this organization, and I want to start maybe putting a list of people together that can even just meet to have these kind of open discussions about it, because I don't want to build it where it's like just my ideas or my plan. It's got to be something where a group's got to be involved, so that people. But I see like it's something that can benefit everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
there's one company that we can all go and get the cheap CMOS and it's already brought in, and you know what I mean, they save that cost. If there's a way for one place that we go and get insurance from, one guy that's the lawyer, we're all just going to save money. You know what I mean? And have a guy that's an expert at our hands, because they're going to be dealing with 50. How many people are in the group, as opposed to each of us trying to find our own individual expert. We just build our own expert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In-house
yeah,
expert.
all in house. Yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, it was a beautiful night. Great conversation, guys. Thanks for all those that stayed to the end. And I'm gonna go and get some rest because I was falling asleep earlier. I don't know if anybody noticed
No, I
me.
seen you. You left for a little bit, fell asleep, woke
You know
back
what
up.
it is?
You caught
I
yourself.
I don't fall asleep. I close my eyes and I daydream and listen to people talking, and they're having like we have this like I'm sitting there having the coffee, like the tea and the goggle,
Yeah, you heard us, but you just couldn't do nothing at the time.
Yeah, it's like I'm listening to you guys, but I'm in a different dimension.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I was listening. I just was resting my eyes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's meet again next Sunday, man. I can't wait. Tonight was a great conversation.
All right, man. Pleasure, man.
Yeah, for sure. Take care, Ricky. Take care,
right.
you. Bye, Maria. And
bye, everybody.
We'll talk soon. Bye. Let's end that. Thanks, guys, for joining, and can't wait to do this again on Sunday. We'll continue, I think, more talking about the this club, and I'm going to start maybe putting a list of people down that are interested, and at least going through the discussions on how we can make that a possible reality. Until then, guys, thank you again for watching, and don't forget to take your Seamoss. Have a great day.